Just as he completed a contract with a god-tier beast of gluttony, it merely caused the energy contained within his body to be overly terrifying, resulting in the man being swallowed by this very energy. However, at this very moment, the energy within him suddenly erupted. His consciousness gradually became blurry, but when he opened his eyes again, he had actually returned to the day he awakened his talent. And in this life, I, with the god-tier beast of gluttony as my lifelong companion, am destined to stand at the peak of the world. But just as I was secretly rejoicing, my girlfriend Wang Qian's voice rang in my ear. Chen Feng, let's break up. You must have seen it too. I've awakened the talent for precognitive evasion. From now on, we no longer belong to the same world. Don't come looking for me again in the future. Just as Wang Qian was smugly pleased with herself, the boy beside her also chimed in. Chen Feng, if you still love Wang Qian, then let her go. With her talent, she has a chance to participate in the world-level preliminary competition. Don't hinder her future. These words made Wang Qian raise her head a little higher. She also felt that she and I now belonged to two different worlds. The boy who spoke up was named Du Fan. He was Wang Qian's loyal suitor. Brother Feng, let's just go. At this moment, another girl's voice interrupted my thoughts. Her eyes were a bit evasive when she spoke. I turned my head to look at the girl. Her name was Wang Yuyan. Normally, her personality was very reserved, and she wasn't good with words. Yet, her talent level was grade 1. Looking at Wang Yuyan, I nodded. Chen Feng, what do you mean by this? You don't want me to give you a chance anymore, do you? Wang Qian, seeing me and Wang Yuyan leaving side by side, suddenly felt anger surge from her heart. Chen Feng, are you even a man? You actually cheated on Wang Qian. Regarding their words, my expression was calm. We've already broken up. You're the one who said it. So whatever I do has nothing to do with you, Wang Qian. And you, Fei Yangyang. I've already tuned the car for you. Whether you can drive it is your own problem. As someone who transmigrated here, I won't indulge him. And now there are more important things to do. I remember, because I hadn't awakened my beast-taming talent at school, my mother unilaterally took my father's token of love and sold it. That was a piece of an extremely rare unknown beast. After selling the Beast Valley, she bought me a bottle of low-tier awakening potion. But I, having returned reborn, no longer need to awaken my beast-taming talent. Simply because I have 10 terrifying demonic beasts within me. Each one is a top-tier existence. In my previous life, after I advanced to become a true summoner, the era of demonic schemes immediately descended. We were repeatedly defeated by the infamous demonic creatures. In utter desperation, I directly severed my own connections. My original summoned beasts had to be changed to contracted magical beasts. There was no other way. Either die or change contracted magical beasts. And those summoned beasts were not only deeply connected to me emotionally, but also shared a bloodline connection with me. Severing them was like severing my own limbs. Therefore, enduring the dual pain of body and spirit, I became the most ruthless person in the summoning world at that time. No one knew what I had lost. But from then on, everyone only saw a ruthless Chen Feng, who would slay gods if they stood in his way. I originally planned to register for a summoner's license and go alone to the beast domain to earn money and rise to prominence. But now, in order to quickly raise funds to redeem the beast, I decided to apply for special admission to the Summoning University for guaranteed employment. After passing the exam, I would receive a scholarship of 10 million. Special Admission Center. It was an arena with a structure similar to the bird's nest. Passing through a long corridor, I arrived at the registration room. Hello. I'd like to participate in the special admission assessment for summoners, I said, looking at the teacher in the registration room who was about to leave work. This year's special admission registration has already ended. Come back next year. The admissions teacher didn't even spare me a glance. He certainly didn't want to work overtime. Just as I was about to say something, I heard a somewhat quiet voice from behind me. What? You forgot to make an appointment for me? It's already 3:55. What if that teacher leaves early? There's still a guy in front of me, I don't know whose family he's from. The signal isn't very good. I'll hang up first. The sound of this person talking on the phone, the registration teacher heard crystal clear. What's going on, little brother? You came so late too. The young man came behind me, acting overly familiar. I turned my head to look at the young man. Then my heart skipped a beat. I knew this fellow too well. Even though he had become younger, I still had a profound impression of him. His name was Li Eriang. He was the youngest son of the Li family. The time our destinies intertwined in my previous life was during a hunting expedition where we met. Both of us loved to show off. Initially, Li Eriang, due to his superior family background and his talent being the highest S grade, I could never surpass him. But we also appreciated each other. We were both still young then, often exchanging tips on how to show off. At this moment, the teacher at the registration desk had already sat back down at their desk. The first two students, come quickly for your test. There's still an assessment teacher who hasn't left. You two came at just the right time. The teacher's expression was normal. He heard Li Eriang's words clearly. He certainly didn't want to lose his job. This job was for his retirement. The benefits were excellent. I was the first to step into the registration room. Li Eriang snapped back to reality and quickly followed. Seeing that the two had finished filling out the forms, the registration teacher took their forms and began to examine them carefully. Chen Feng, right? Earth grade presale talent. You want to challenge the highest difficulty assessment? The teacher held my registration form and looked at me. With a bewildered expression, he reconfirmed it. Yes, I nodded. My face was calm. The highest difficulty assessment is extremely dangerous. To face 4 one-star high-level demonic beasts attacks for 5 minutes. You have Earth grade talent. Your spirit beast might be instantly killed. Are you aware? The teacher warned him. No problem, but if my spirit beast accidentally kills them all, do I need to pay compensation? I retorted. That won't be necessary. If you can truly fight 1 against 4, that's your skill. The registration teacher didn't mean to mock me. Teacher, I also want to take the highest difficulty, Li Eriang said, and handed the registration form to the registration teacher. All right, I'll contact the assessment teacher right away to prepare the combat demonic beasts for both of you. Then Li Eriang strode to the dueling arena and roared, Purgatory demonic bear. As soon as Li Eriang's voice fell, a glowing portal connecting to the spirit beast space appeared. A giant Xiong, towering 5 meters high, slowly walked out. His presence was astonishing. The giant Xiong's brown fur bore fiery red patterns. This massive body was powerful and strong, looking extraordinary. With the appearance of the Purgatory demonic bear, from the other side of the dueling arena slowly walked out 4 tall demonic beasts. 2 bear-type demonic beasts, 1 tiger-type demonic beast, and 1 wolf-type demonic beast. These 4 demonic beasts were all over 6 meters tall, looking even more formidable than the Purgatory demonic bear. Li Eriang now wore a worried expression, while the Purgatory demonic bear was being beaten by the 4 demonic beasts and fled in all directions. One could see the Purgatory demonic bear using its thick bare paws to swat away the pouncing demonic beasts, then ran and dodged without looking back. Li Eriang, you're too overconfident. One could see a man wearing sunglasses, followed by Wang Qian and Du Fan. The person speaking was named Lu Yu. He also awakened an SG talent. Lu Yu, this old man is on the highest difficulty. What kind of sarcastic remarks are you making? Li Eriang's gaze remained fixed on the battle in the arena, not daring to avert his eyes. It's already been 4.5 minutes. Just hold on for another 30 seconds and the assessment will be passed. And at this moment, on the dueling arena, the Purgatory fiend suddenly exerted force with its feet, pouncing towards the demon wolf in front of it. At this moment, the countdown above the dueling arena ended. Assessment passed. Stop attacking. The assessment instructor suddenly shouted. And those 4 demon beasts immediately ceased their attacks. The Purgatory fiend instantly leaned back. It was severely injured. Quickly put the Purgatory fiend into the presale space. I saw Li Eriang actually spacing out at the critical moment, so I loudly reminded Li Eriang. Hearing my words, he suddenly snapped out of the joy of having passed the assessment, having understood what I said, and immediately put the Purgatory fiend into the presale space. The presale space can automatically heal the presale creature's injuries. Brother, I'm going to the infirmary. I'll be back in a bit to cheer you on. Li Eriang nodded at me and jogged all the way to the infirmary. Next up, Chen Feng, Pre-sale qualification Earth level assessment. Highest difficulty level. The assessment instructor shouted. Below the arena, the iron gate opened once more. What appeared was the strongest combination of demon beasts, 3 high-tier land demon beasts, and 1 high-tier avian demon beast. I let out a loud roar. Jade Gate, open. 100-meter-tall Jade Gate materialized. On the blood-red pillars of the Jade Gate, massive purple chains were entwined. The tiles on the top of the Jade Gate were also blood-red. In the middle of the Jade Gate was a swath of purple chi, mixed with a few wisps of star-red energy drifting out. It looked extremely menacing. Everyone looked up, gazing at the 100-meter-tall Jade Gate. They all simultaneously gulped. An intense feeling of suffocation welled up in their hearts. They had never seen a pre-sale creature appear in such a manner. I, however, spoke with a calm tone, my hands still in my pockets, and said to the Jade Gate, "Dinner's ready." No sooner had the words fallen, 2 streaks of star-red light flashed forth from within the Jade Gate, accompanied by a rustling sound. And within it, there was also a faint clanking of chains. At this moment, the 3 high-level demonic beasts outside the Jade Gate had already made their battle preparations, but their bodies were all violently trembling, as if they had encountered a natural predator. This was the unique aura of a magic beast. The next moment, a giant centipede head emerged from the Jade Gate. Just revealing its head, it already occupied half of the dueling arena. One must know this dueling arena was at least as big as 10 football fields. Yet, at this moment, a single centipede head actually took up most of it. All 4 demonic beasts trembled uncontrollably. They weren't even as big as one of the centipede's fangs. If the peacock that had just spread its wings could also be considered to cover the sky and block out the sun, then this centipede, merely revealing its head, was an existence capable of swallowing the sky and overlooking the earth. The next moment, the 4 trembling demonic beasts vanished into thin air, swallowed by the centipede into its belly. And this was just my first magic beast, the Myriad-Footed Demon Emperor. Among my top 10 magic beasts, it was considered the weakest. If it were to fully emerge from the Jade Gate, it would be comparable to the length of half a city. As the 4 demonic beasts vanished into thin air, the Myriad-Footed Demon Emperor also revealed its complete head, 2 sections of its enormous exoskeleton, and each of its feet was wrapped by a thick purple chain, like a leashed vicious dog. This lent the Demon Emperor a certain savage truth. "Chen Feng, I'm still not full, not even enough to fill a tooth gap." The Demon Emperor turned and looked levelly at me on the grandstand. "Be content. You're the first one to eat." I replied. "What do you mean?" The Demon Emperor was startled at first. Immediately after sensing my strength, they began farming gold. "How did you restart your cultivation?" "No, Chen Feng, you can't do this. I have fought battles for you for hundreds of years, and you actually restarted your cultivation again." The Demon Emperor froze. After he sensed my strength had dropped to 1 star, his entire body instantly trembled. There are precedents for this. He was now extremely scared. The Demon Emperor was the first magic beast I contracted. He knew deep down how I had acquired this strength. Now that I was cultivating again, it meant his value was no longer enough for him to be my contracted beast. Then he thought of the 4 demonic beasts he had just eaten. He realized, damn, this is Ancestor Chen Feng, the decapitated criminal. "Master Feng, you can't do this. Little Wu, I've fought alongside you for hundreds of years. Even if I have no great achievements, I've put in hard work. What are you thinking? I'll explain later. I won't kill you, just go back for now." I shook my head, speechless. The Demon Emperor still wanted to explain something, but went back. Hearing my anger, the Demon Emperor obediently retreated back into the Jade Gate. "Teacher, you can announce the assessment results now." I turned my head and reminded the assessment teacher, who was still in a daze. The assessment teacher was still rooted to the spot. The demonic aura emanating from the Demon Emperor still left him with lingering fear. All right. The assessment teacher stammered his reply. "I announced that student Chen Feng has passed the highest level assessment." Wang Jie, seeing this scene, felt like dying. He ground his molars to dust. But as he was thinking about how to reconcile with me, I turned and walked out with Li Eriang and Lu Yu. Both of these two were acquaintances from my previous life. Both had awakened S-grade summoning talents. The next goal was to participate in the provincial summoner competition. To let the Demon Emperor have a good, hearty meal. But at this moment, inside the summoning assessment office, a middle-aged man stood up in shock. And opposite him was the very teacher who had just assessed me. This student's assessment video and personal information are to be listed as top secret. You don't need to lead this batch of student training either. I'll go personally. Zhang Daoyuan finished speaking and took the documents from the assessment teacher's hand. He placed them into his leather bag. And his identity was that of a conferred senior commander, with the strength of an 8-star summoner. But even with his strength, he couldn't discern what my summoning power truly was. As soon as I arrived at the entrance of the summoner competition arena, a voice came from behind me. Chen Feng, right? I turned my head to look and saw a middle-aged man in a trench coat with a scar on his face. My name is Zhang Daoyuan. I am your team leader teacher. Come with me for a moment. There are some things I need to verify with you. Zhang Daoyuan said to me with a serious expression. I nodded and followed him to a private office. I had long anticipated this scene. When I revealed my demonic beast, I knew I would be interrogated. I just didn't expect it to be so soon. It must be because of the higher-ups. The beast you contracted is a demonic beast, right? After Zhang Daoyuan finished speaking, he stared sharply into my eyes. He was an 8-star beast master, capable of easily telling if someone was lying. Yes, I am. Zhang Daoyuan's eyes narrowed slightly. He secretly thought to himself, indeed. As expected, after a round of questioning, Zhang Daoyuan escorted me out of the office. 30 minutes later, Zhang Daoyuan emerged alone and gathered all the students to enter the northern beast realm. After entering the beast realm, I immediately began searching for demonic beasts. In places like this beast realm, herbivorous demonic beasts usually appear. I hoped my luck would be good enough to encounter some. My magic work emperor was hungry and had a buffet to eat. After moving at full speed for over an hour, I finally encountered living beings. To be precise, I encountered people. And they were acquaintances. Chen Feng and Wang Qian had joy in their eyes. And by his side was the displeased pretty boy, Du Fan. The two of them were currently gathered around a giant sea bone, observing it. Du Fan turned his head and saw Wang Qian's joyful expression. Anger surged uncontrollably in his heart. I took 2 steps forward. First, I looked at the giant sea bone beneath my feet. Judging by the size of the skeleton, it must have been at least a 2-star demonic beast. I squatted down and picked up a beast bone with my hand, snapped off one pointed end, held it in his hand, and gestured twice. Chen Feng found it very handy. We found this first. What is the meaning of this? Du Fan saw me trying to use this piece as a weapon and discovered something. Chen Feng, if you need it, just take it. Let's team up, and let's get back together. This was a complete 180-degree turn in Wang Qian's attitude. She actually had the nerve to ask me to get back together. When it comes to controlling emotions, you, Wang Qian, are truly something else. But this really made Du Fan anxious. Before I could even speak, he preempted me. Xianxia, didn't you promise to be my girlfriend before? After speaking, he quickly turned to look at me. Pointing his finger at me, he said, You scumbag! Get lost! Don't linger in front of us. Du Fan didn't know where he got such courage. He actually dared to speak to me like that. His words made me laugh. What are you? You dare speak to me like that? My expression darkened, and I swung. And with a wave of my hand, a blade flashed. The ancient blade instantly cut through Du Fan's sleeve, leaving a terrifying wound on it. If it weren't for the rule's restrictions, he would have long been a corpse. Du Fan was instantly scared witless. My blade-wielding motion was too fast. He didn't react at all just now. And in his mind, the scene of me summoning a spirit beast during my assessment reappeared, but he was still feigning composure. Seeing his current pathetic state, I turned and walked towards the center of the beast prison, leaving behind only a blank-faced Wang Qian, and Du Fan, whose expression kept changing. The next moment, Du Fan seemed to have thought of something. He raised his head to look at Wang Qian. Xianxia, we haven't finished talking. Wang Qian interrupted directly. Get lost. She turned her head and shouted, "Wen Feng, wait for me. I've already realized how much I like you." Wang Jian jogged, chasing in the direction I disappeared. At this moment, I had already arrived at the edge of the Beast Territory's center. The next second, I let out a loud shout, "Jade Gate, open!" Instantly, a jade gate, towering 100 meters high, appeared in the forest. Demon Lord Huang of Myriad-Footed excitedly poked his head out from the jade gate. He had long since been impatient. First, he turned his head and bent down in front of me, signaling me to go up. I saw my feet push off with force, jumping from the ground to the top of the Demon Emperor's head. Then, the Demon Emperor's body began to crawl out from the jade gate. This process lasted 20 seconds. That towering figure, even when lying on the ground, was still 100 meters tall. Its length, needless to say, directly stretched for several kilometers through the forest. The appearance of the Demon Emperor made all the demon beasts tremble. At the same time, it also made nearby all the students participating in the ranking competition tremble all over. Even if they couldn't see it, they could still hear a huge rumbling sound. What the hell is that, a hidden boss? Some students were so scared they wet their pants. And the Demon Emperor's speed was astonishing. Trees in its path were directly snapped. As he moved, a whistling wind accompanied him. Standing on the top of the Demon Emperor's head, one could look down upon 30 kilometers below. And he had already activated snake mode. Under his enormous eyes, all the surrounding demon beasts became his food. But the shocked crowd all watched the surveillance footage with terrified expressions. The sudden appearance of the Demon Emperor made them sweat profusely. What's going on? Quickly activate the emergency plan. A high-level demon beast has invaded, visually estimated to be at least 5-star or above. Immediately terminate the competition. The one speaking was a middle-aged man with a resolute face. He was the highest commander in the 105th Guard Army, and the Demon Emperor's massive body appeared even more terrifying on camera. The drone hovering high in the sky actually couldn't capture the Demon Emperor's entire body. But Zhang Daoyuan remained unmoved. Esteemed teachers, there's no need to panic. This is just my prearranged demonstration for the students. Hearing Zhang Daoyuan's words, everyone instantly fell silent. What? Say that again. You said that was your students' demonstration? Are you kidding me? All the teachers were shocked. At this moment, I was representing the slave emperor. Ate no less than 100 alien demonic beasts. Suddenly, a cry for help came from afar, only to see a monkey-like demonic beast chasing a youth in a school uniform. That monkey demonic beast was very fast. It was about to catch up to the youth in the school uniform. Its claws still bore bloodstains. The youth wasn't very tall and walked with a limp. Apparently, he was injured. The monkey demonic beast might have been scared by the Demon Duke Emperor and wanted to vent its frustration on this human in front of it. At this moment, the Demon Duke Emperor instantly appeared behind the monkey. Then, with its massive fangs, it directly bit it into 2 pieces. It was then sucked into the Demon Duke Emperor's mouth. At this moment, the youth looked at the Demon Duke Emperor before him and grew even more terrified. The next second, he fainted on the spot. He seems to have fainted. Damn that monkey demonic beast. He must have been scared unconscious by it. The Demon Duke Emperor said to me in his mind, I'm speechless. He was clearly scared unconscious by you, wasn't he? After the youth woke up, he only felt a vibration beneath him. He subconsciously turned his head to look around and immediately screamed loudly, Hey, you're awake, I said, looking at him. The youth turned his head to look, only to see a handsome guy with his hands in his pockets. Hello, great one. As the youth spoke, he tried to quickly stand up, but his legs wouldn't obey him now. He had just stood up when he slumped back down. It's fine, just stay seated for now. It's good that you're awake. Soon, I'll find a safe place for you to get off, I said with a smile. Not long after, the Demon Duke Emperor found a safe place. All right, you can get off here. I've already cleared the area nearby, I said, and then I took the Demon Duke Emperor and continued our buffet. At this moment, my level was almost breaking through to the 1-star mid-tier. Beast Taming Room. I reckon once the Demon Duke Emperor eats a few more demonic beasts, I'll be able to completely break through. At this moment, my eyes slightly narrowed. I discovered that 1,000 meters away, 7 demonic beasts and 3 humans had gathered. Saying this, the demon emperor walked towards that direction. At this moment, the 3 people over there were discussing tactics. Wang Yuyan, if you want to join our team, you can. But first come, first served, it's your turn to act as bait. Du Fan said to Wang Yuyan with a look of disdain. Yen, as long as you help me lure out the great earth demonic bear from inside, then next, we'll help you find a contract jade hand. Wang Qian scanned Wang Yuyan up and down and said with a smile. She then added, you just stand at the entrance and shout for help. If that great earth demonic bear comes out, Brother Tianhao will strike and injure it immediately. There definitely won't be any problems. Wang Yuyan's family background was not good. From a young age, her parents told her, outside you must listen to your teachers and get along well with your classmates. Even when she was bullied by classmates as a child, her parents and teachers would say, it takes 2 hands to clap. Alright, I can definitely do it. The next person to get a contract jade hand will be me, Wang Yuyan said, lowering her head. At this moment, she stood blankly outside the cave. According to the plan previously agreed upon, she began to shout for help. The great earth demonic bear inside the cave, upon hearing Wang Yuyan's cries for help, a gleam flashed in its eyes. Its body instantly rushed out of the cave. It opened its massive, blood-red maw and pounced towards Wang Yuyan. Seeing this, Wang Yuyan wanted to turn and run. But the enormous great earth demonic bear's body was several times larger than hers. Under immense pressure, she actually temporarily lost the ability to move. Quick! Strike! Fang Tianhao's expression changed drastically upon seeing this. He immediately ordered Du Fan. But at this moment, Du Fan's expression changed drastically on the surface, but inwardly, he hesitated to carry out the order. Wang Qian, on the other hand, revealed a smile. Damn it, you green tea bitch, pretending to be weak to seduce Chen Feng. Just die quickly. Seeing the bear's paw about to strike Wang Yuyan's face, Chen Feng, Wang Yuyan was now in tears. Already frail, before the bear's paw descended. Crying, I shouted out. The next moment, the bear paw struck, but there was no pain. I heard you call my name. Wang Yuyan slowly opened her eyes. I saw myself holding a drum knife in one hand, stabbing it into the neck of the great enemy, the demon lord. My other foot stepped on Du Fan's spirit beast. It was you who made Wang Yuyan take such risks. So young, yet you dare to harm others. Wouldn't it become a scourge to the spirit beast faction when it grows up? Just then, the space in front of me, a huge rift split open out of thin air. It was a spatial rift. The next instant, a gigantic head suddenly emerged from the rift. It was my first high-tier demonic beast with a solid core. The myriad-legged demonic Duke Emperor. Kill. My gaze, cold as ice, swept across to the opposite side. I said coldly, Chen Feng, what do you mean? There are rules against killing people. Du Fan stood at the very front of the crowd. He hadn't even finished speaking, was swallowed by the demon king emperor into its belly. And next was Wang Qian. Then came the others. All the spirit beasts were swallowed by the demon king emperor in one gulp. As for the other 2, I didn't let the demonic Duke Emperor indiscriminately kill innocents. I merely wanted to eliminate Wang Qian. And Du Fan, that's all. At this moment, the remaining artist is called Feng. Tianhao was already so scared he had collapsed onto the ground. Afterward, I then left with Wang Yuyan and the demonic Duke Emperor. Chen Feng, where are we going next? Wang Yuyan really liked the moments she could spend alone with me now. Go to the central area and first help you contract a spirit beast. Then, by the way, find Li Eriang and Lu Yu the beast tamers. What kind do you like? We had just arrived at the central awarding region. I haven't found a suitable spirit beast for Wang Yuyan yet. First, we encountered Li Eriang and Lu Yu. The 4 of us stood atop the demonic Duke Emperor's head. I was the first to speak. You 2 should have entered the central region earlier. Have you seen any powerful contracted demonic beasts? At this moment, Li Eriang said, Brother Feng, you've asked the right person about this. We really did encounter one. It was a fire phoenix with an S-grade bloodline. So where is this fire and phoenix now? Do you know? I instantly became interested and wanted to know. We saw it fly to that mountaintop. Li Eriang said, standing tall like a mountain. Then we quickly rushed over. Half an hour later, we arrived at a volcano crater. Fire and Phoenix generally reside inside volcanoes. It seems this is its home, I explained. After speaking, I took the lead and jumped into the volcano crater. The four of us delved deeper downwards. Half an hour later, we finally reached the inside of the mountain. What first met our eyes was a rock cave. Look, that's the Fire and Phoenix. Li Eriang pointed towards the entrance of the rock cave and said. Meanwhile, the Fire and Phoenix was lying at the cave entrance at this moment. Its body was completely guarding the cave entrance. There must be something inside that it needs to guard. I saw the clue at a glance. First, let Yuyan contract it, then we'll attack together. After I finished speaking, I launched myself towards the Fire Rain Phoenix. This thing can fly. I must get close to it immediately. Otherwise, it'll be hard to catch once it flies up. Li Eriang and Lu Yu exchanged a glance. They directly released their spirit beasts. The Fire and Phoenix is indeed worthy of its S-grade bloodline. Its vigilance is extremely high. Before I even got close, it had already raised its head and spotted me. After a cry, it spread its enormous wings and instantly took flight. Brother Feng, we're here to help you, Lu Yu shouted from behind. He directly issued a command to his Dragonblood Firebird. The Dragonblood Firebird is currently a 1-star mid-tier. After giving the Fire Phoenix food, moreover, both possess the fire attribute. The two large birds instantly tangled in a fight in the air. Seeing this, I directly took a lunge and leaped high. Instantly, I arrived below the Fire and Phoenix. I grabbed one of its feet, wanting to make it lose its balance. This sudden force made the Fire and Phoenix instantly crash to the ground. But just at this moment, an unfamiliar, youthful voice rang out. Let go of that demonic beast. We were the ones who injured it first. I turned my head and looked in the direction of the voice, only to see 3 figures appear at the cave entrance. It was Feng Tianhao and the other 2. When Feng, it's actually you. Feng Tianhao was greatly alarmed. Then he immediately said to his older brother, Bro, how about we still leave? Feng Tianhao was a bit timid. The impact the demonic emperor brought him was too great. Why leave? This Fire and Phoenix is very precious. We can't miss this opportunity so easily. After Feng Tianhai finished speaking, he immediately commanded his demonic tiger companion beast to pounce on the Fire and Phoenix. Li Eriang naturally wouldn't stand idly by. Bear bro, quickly go help. At his command, his purgatory demonic bear charged towards Feng Shao. The 3-striped tiger suddenly shifted its body and rose again. The Phoenix, originally suppressed beneath the Dragonblood Firebird, for some unknown reason, suddenly struggled and flew up. It let out a cry towards the sky. Its eyes turned blood red. Red scripture feathers began to slowly drift down. It was about to undergo Nirvana self-destruction. Seeing this, I shouted, ignoring everything else. I frantically retreated in the direction of Wang Yuyan and the other 2. At the same time, the demonic emperor emerged from my sleeve and immediately surrounded the 4 of us. Old bro, let's run too. Although Feng Tianhao didn't know what was going to happen, but seeing how tense I was, he immediately shouted. The next moment, terrifying heat waves swept out from the cavern. The 3 of them were immediately sent flying out first. As for the 4 of us, at this moment we were inside the centipede ball formed by the demonic emperor's shuttle city. We could only hear clanging sounds from outside, but didn't know exactly what was happening. What about outside? I asked the demonic emperor. It's nothing. A 3-star Fire and Phoenix is scratching my itch. Wait until the temperature outside drops. I'll let you out then. And eat it, by the way. It should be a pair with that 1-star one from before. So that means there must be their true treasures in that cave. For that thing the 1-star Fire and Phoenix so easily gave up its life choosing self-preservation, Chen Feng mused aloud. What could make a demonic beast fight so desperately? It's probably because its young are inside. This is good too. Yuyan's first presale can be considered settled. But it can also be revived. And the 3-star Fire and Phoenix was continuously attacking the demonic emperor's outer shell. Every one of its strikes used its full strength. Yet it couldn't breach the demonic emperor's defenses. And inside the cave, next to the Fire and Phoenix egg, a young man emerged from a nearby cave entrance, dusty and disheveled. He was originally going to pass through the passage of trials to abandon the ranking competition. But when he reached the foot of the mountain, he discovered that there was a cave concealed by vines. Curiosity compelled him to enter and investigate. Upon entering the cave, he saw a fiery red egg. This bird's egg clearly born from a high-grade bloodline demonic beast. His mouth was already twisted into a grin. He hastily took off his school uniform and wrapped up the egg, which was almost half his body's size. The next moment, he saw a fire and phoenix desperately attacking a purple spherical object. It turned out to be the fire and phoenix's egg. But why wasn't it incubating the egg? What was it doing? Was it sharpening its claws? Forget it, I should just sneak away first. The youth, supporting himself, stealthily ran away. At this moment, the demonic emperor finally unfurled its body. The intense heat receded. It impatiently leaped straight up, coiling itself around the 3-star fire and phoenix, then swallowed it whole. Now, for people entered the fire and phoenix's nest. But I, with my hand, frantically rummaged through the large nest woven from branches. Fengji, quick! Look at this! Li Eriang's voice came from beside me. I turned to look. In front of Li Eriang was a magma pool emitting a faint red glow. But the liquid within wasn't like true magma, but a mysterious liquid the color of fire. I bent down to examine it. This is Phoenix Eye Marrow, a natural elixir that allows living spirit beasts to recover from injuries. Chen Feng said indifferently. Then I said to Li Eriang, isn't your spirit beast injured and hasn't recovered yet? You can let it out to drink some. This thing can even heal hidden injuries. Li Eriang, hearing this, impatiently released his purgatory demonic beast. It quickly lay by the pond's edge and licked at it with its tongue. This is great, it really works. Li Eriang could feel that the purgatory demonic beast's injuries were rapidly recovering. He said excitedly. Of course it works. This stuff is worth 100 million per mouthful outside. It's a rare and invaluable fire attribute spirit beast healing sacred medicine. I looked speechlessly at Li Eriang. What? 100 million per mouthful? Stop drinking like that. Your injury is just a trifle, it'll be fine. Stop it, you beast. When Li Eriang heard that the Phoenix Eye Marrow was worth 100 million, his heart instantly ached intensely. I'm sorry, Yu Yen didn't manage to contract a suitable spirit beast for you. I sighed and said, it's all right. Haven't you all received the stern lesson? Wang Yu Yen said with a smile. At this moment, the spirit beast competition also ended. Afterwards, I led the 3 of them towards the spirit beast passage. Outside the passage connecting the beast realm to the outside, students had already crowded together. Just then, a shout came from behind me. Big boss. The voice sounded somewhat familiar. I turned my head to look back. I saw a disheveled figure dart out from the woods, a messy-haired youth with a large package on his back. It's you, I said, naturally assuming the air of an expert. Brother Feng, who is this? Lu Yu asked curiously. My name is Han Shaoli. When I was chased by demonic beasts earlier, Brother Chen Feng saved me. Han Shaoli scratched his head and introduced himself. Brother Han, what's that you're carrying on your back? Li Eriang asked curiously. Oh, this is quite a stroke of luck, actually. Han Shaoli paused. First, she glanced left and right. Seeing no one was paying attention to her, she moved closer to the 4 people. She whispered, after I separated from Brother Feng earlier, I was thinking of finding a demonic beast to contract. But I was constantly being chased by demonic beasts, hiding everywhere. Just when I was about to give up, I saw a hidden cave. I crept in and took a look. Hey, guess what? Inside, there was actually a demonic beast egg. It's this one behind me. As Han Shaoli spoke, she took the school uniform wrapped around the beast egg and held it in front of her. She slightly opened a gap for the 4 people to see. She planned to consume this beast egg after returning, and then contract it to become her own jade beast. The 4 of us were stunned. So after all that, it turns out you little rascal snatched the treasure. But now I don't know what to say. Although she stole the beast gall, she did it by her own skill. And looking at Han Shaoli's demeanor, she also really needed this beast gall. After the beast taming competition ended, the reward obtained was an S-grade tamed beast. But having returned from Rebirth, I no longer needed to contract a tamed beast, simply because I had 10 terrifying magic beasts within my body. Each one could be called top tier. However, Wang Yuyan in the beast taming competition failed to successfully contract a tamed beast. Afterwards, I gave the reward to Wang Yuyan. After the awards ceremony, I returned to my dorm room. I pulled out the black notebook from my pocket. Looking at the name Aileen, I let out a long sigh. In my previous life, I, in the capacity of a strategist appointed by Quanshi Xian Luo, formed an organization of strategists. The Night Demon organization didn't have many members, but each one was freakishly powerful. And Aileen had been with me the longest. In the Night Demon, she was one of my revered figures. As my revered figure, she managed all my daily routines. She would even personally test my food for poison before meals. But in my previous life, Aileen, in order to help me contract the most powerful magic beast, died in front of me. Thinking of this, I sighed. The next day, I found Zhang Daoyuan to ask for leave. And after Zhang Daoyuan saw my troubled expression, he asked, "What's wrong? Is something bothering you?" He put out the cigarette in his hand. He walked up to me, patted my shoulder. "Old Zhang, I'd like to ask for some leave." I said, "Seriously, ask for leave? What leave?" "Tomorrow, we're facing the private sparring match with Neon Country and Kimchi Country. You are a contestant from our Dragon Country. How can you just ask for leave like that?" Zhang Daoyuan flatly refused. "Sorry, old Zhang, I can't control this. I must leave for 3 days. I can only promise you that I will return as soon as possible." I also didn't want to make things difficult for Zhang Daoyuan. But this trip concerned Aileen. Nothing was more important than Aileen. I said no, so it's no. Go back. You can't leave. I, an 8-star Beastmaster, can't control you? Zhang Daoyuan also got angry. "Old Zhang, your 8-star Beastmaster ability is indeed powerful, but you can't stop me." I remained calm, no longer wasting words with Zhang Daoyuan. I walked straight towards the camp gate. There are some things I absolutely must do. Zhang Daoyuan really wanted to compete with me, but thinking of my spirit beast being solid, he got a bit timid again. "What exactly are you going to do? You have to tell me, right?" For the first time, Zhang Daoyuan felt a bit powerless. "Only so I have no regrets in this life." I took a deep pause, leaving behind only a single sentence and a dashing silhouette. 5 hours later, I traversed the entire Dragon Country and arrived at Xianxia. If I remember correctly, Aileen would be here today with her mother, coming to the only high-end hotel here. As for me, I first bought some 9-star chocolates outside the hotel. Then I entered the hotel. That was Eileen's favorite food. At this moment, a familiar tall figure appeared at the hotel entrance. It was Aileen, no doubt. They were 4 people in total. Besides Elena, there was 1 woman and 2 men. "Elena will stay here tonight. I booked 2 of the most expensive rooms," the young man said to Elena with a smile. Her gaze greedily swept over Elena. The young man who spoke was named Andre. He was Elena's cousin. As the 4 of them passed me, Elena subconsciously glanced at me. I in turn smiled and nodded. "Remember, would you like some rose-flavored 9-star chocolate? A beauty from Britain," I said as I brushed past Elena. At this moment, I was both handsome and young. Coupled with this fluent and authentic British English, Elena immediately stopped in her tracks. "Thank you," Elena said, taking the 9-star chocolate. Watching Elena, tall and smiling, walk away, her retreating figure stirred my memories again. His current smile was sunny and confident. It was completely different from when the 2 of them met in their previous life. Their first meeting place was 25 years later, in the basement of an estate in Britain. At that time, Elena was being abused by her cousin Andre, covered in wounds. She was naked at the time. There wasn't a single spot on her entire body that was intact. It was all from whips, razor blades, and other things that had injured her. Thinking of this, I quickly rushed to the nearby 2-star beast prison. Because before long, Elena would come here to contract a spirit beast. But she didn't expect that her uncle and cousin, in order to contend for the family's management position, actually killed her mother in this very beast prison. And because Andre had severe sadistic tendencies, when he saw Elena was beautiful, after killing Elena's spirit beast, he captured her and imprisoned her. And she was also abused for 25 years in the dark basement. Just then, Elena and 3 other figures appeared at the entrance of the beast domain. Elena also saw me. What a coincidence, are you also here to contract a spirit beast? She had a cheerful personality. He greeted me. I was doing it to prevent my friend from falling into darkness again. That's why I came, I said, smiling inscrutably and loudly. Hurry, Elena. Don't say anything more to this person from the Dragon Kingdom, Andre urged. After Elena and the other 3 seemed to have gone far away, I also followed their footprints into the beast's domain. After entering the beast's domain, I summoned the Demon Duke Emperor. At this moment, the Demon Duke Emperor was just the right size to carry me. Meanwhile, Elena and the other 3 were quickly heading to the designated location for 2-star beasts. The target location is just ahead. Andre's father looked ahead and reminded him to look. That's the cave. That's where people discovered the 2-star demonic beasts. Soon, you'll be a true 2-star beast tamer, just like your father was in his youth. Frick said kindly to Elena, who was behind him. Just then, Elena's mother turned her head and shouted, Elena, be careful. But it was already too late. Only to see Andre standing behind her, one hand gripping her throat, the other pressing a knife against Elena's artery. If Elena or Angeli made any movement, he would crush Elena's throat. Meanwhile, Frick also relentlessly grabbed Angeli's hair and punched her in the stomach. Then he directly grabbed her head and repeatedly slammed it against the stone wall inside the cave. Stone fragments flew everywhere. A large stream of blood flowed from Angeli's forehead. Didn't you two, mother and daughter, want to know where Elena's father was? I'll tell you right now. He actually went to hell a long time ago. Just a few days ago, he was also smashed to death against the wall by me, just like this. Blanche, you always praised how beautiful and intelligent you were to me. I'd like to see what's so good about you now. After Frick finished speaking, he dragged Angeli by her hair, pulling her towards the depths of the cave. Outside the cave, Andre was gripping Elena's throat. His hands began to strip off Elena's cold-weather clothes. Elena now only felt a profound helplessness. She closed her eyes, not daring to make the slightest movement. But the next moment he felt the hand reaching into his clothes suddenly stop. He slowly opened his eyes. A person abruptly stood before him. I saw the pen in my hand. My hand was already plunged into Andre's neck. It's normal to feel dizzy from deep breathing. Then I signaled Elena not to make a sound. Elena nodded obediently. There were still tear stains at the corners of his eyes. Seeing this, I gripped the pen. I carefully continued walking into the cave. Angeli, stop struggling, Blanche. That guy is already dead. He used to always praise you as a virtuous wife and good mother. I'd like to see just how idle you really are. Just as he was about to take the next step, he suddenly felt a wave of dizziness in his brain. Who? Flick said. He didn't die immediately. He just felt a bit dizzy. In his line of sight, a young man appeared before him. It's you, a Dragon Nation person. How did you get here? However, the next second, he only felt the world spin. He fell down weakly, losing his breath, only to see his temple. A pinky finger thick poison mark appeared. Blood slowly flowed out, and a purple centipede crawled out. Useless junk. Not tasty at all. The Demon Duke Emperor complained. Just a moment ago, I used one of my previous lives. Frequently used ultimate techniques. The Demon Duke Emperor's poison fangs were very sharp. After a forceful flick, it could instantly freeze and pierce enemies. This move, I often used against experts of the same level in my previous life. Always effective. After seeing Flick die, I turned and walked out. Elena was very obedient. She was still in place, not moving. Your mother is very safe. Go tidy up her clothes for her. She's just fainted, that's all. After I finished speaking, I turned back and walked into the cave. Elena quickly trotted to catch up. After he helped his mother tidy her clothes, he turned his head and asked, How did you find this place? And why do you know my name? He felt this was definitely not a coincidence. What was even more important was, how did this Dragon Country youth kill Frick? One must know that Frick was a 6-star beast tamer. Suddenly, he thought of something. You said before, your purpose in coming here was to let a friend avoid falling into darkness. Was that friend me? Looking at him, I sighed. I said, actually, this matter is hard for people to believe, but I really came to save you. It's like I came to make up for my regrets. Do you mean to say we are actually friends or lovers? But I'm sure I've never met you, nor have I ever seen you, and I don't even know your name. Then there's only one possibility. The future, right? Aileen asked. It's probably that I had a dreamed that in the future we met, then experienced a series of difficulties, met a group of very powerful companions, established the most powerful organization in the world, and finally accomplished a super amazing feat. I shook my head and said, you look after your mother. I'll go outside and find some wood. It's too cold here. After I went out, I never came back. The wood inside the cave is enough. There are too many regrets. I can't take in a person every time I complete a task. In the previous life, they had already followed me through life and death. In this life, I have the ability to bear everything alone. After exiting the cave, I summoned the Demon King Emperor. Master, are you really not taking Aileen with you? And the Demon King Emperor in the previous life also had feelings for Aileen. No need. In the previous life, they had already fallen into darkness. In this life, I hope they will always remain in the light. I will stand on the dividing line between light and darkness for them, to block darkness from descending. After I left, Aileen appeared at the cave entrance at some unknown time, watching me gradually disappear, braving the raging wind and snow. A purple centipede spirit beast. He held on tightly. Remember every purple pattern on the demon bow's yellow carapace. I will definitely find you. After Elena's matter is resolved, I can then confidently deal with the Neon Nation's duel. With my participation this time, I will make sure they don't return. At this moment, in the duel arena's lounge, Zhang Daoyuan was like an ant on a hot pan, pacing back and forth restlessly. Damn it, why isn't Chen Feng back yet? And yesterday, a single player from the Neon Nation's team won 3 consecutive matches. Using just one person, defeated all 3 of Dragon Nation's players. Teacher Zhang, Chen Feng is still unreachable. The one speaking was by Xianxia. He was the recognized joke of Northern Presale University. I think we shouldn't contact him anymore. He's only at the one-hearted level of strength. It's impossible for him to defeat their 2-star high-tier presale practitioner. The one who said this was Gao Liang, also a peerless genius of Northern Presale University. What do you know? You'll know when he gets back. Zhang Daoyuan's tone was terrible. He turned and walked towards the duel arena. Seeing Zhang Daoyuan enter the arena with 3 people, the students in the stands instantly erupted. Look, they're here. I thought they were all geniuses. They were actually swept 3-0 by the Neon Nation. Hearing everyone's words, Gao Liang punched the railing. The match is about to begin. Why hasn't that one-hearted kid arrived yet? Hurry up and lose so I can go back. I don't want to keep embarrassing myself here. He felt he couldn't afford to lose face. Even waiting another minute felt like a humiliation. The other 2 felt the same way, each with a gloomy face, remaining silent. And just as Zhang Daoyuan was about to release the subtle pressure of an 8-star presale master, a familiar voice sounded behind him. Old Zhang, I'm here. Hearing that familiar voice, Zhang Daoyuan's anger instantly dissipated. You kid, you're finally here. Quickly beat all those Neon Nation people away. Make them stay in Dragon Nation forever. But be discreet. Tomorrow we still have to fight South Korea. Zhang Daoyuan instructed. Hearing his words, I nodded. I made an okay gesture to Zhang Daoyuan. You're that single-minded kid? Hurry up and surrender. Don't let your spirit beast get hurt. Song Yi said with a look of disdain. I ignored him and walked straight to the duel arena. Beast Gate. Open. I stood on the beast tamer's seat and loudly proclaimed. My voice was loud and clear, full of imposing aura. However, the next moment, everyone was stunned. You shouted with such an imposing aura. Where's your spirit beast? Whether it was the audience or the Japanese beast taming team, none saw my spirit beast appear. But only Zhang Daoyuan saw it. The Demon King Emperor at this moment was even thinner than a toothpick. He looked at me with some surprise. He didn't expect the Demon King Emperor could be so small. I told you to be low-key, but I didn't tell you to be that low-key. At this moment, the Japanese contestant directly summoned his spirit beast. It was a 2-star low-tier snake-shaped demon beast, 10 meters long, quite dangerous. At this moment, the two-headed snake couldn't find the spirit beast to fight. Where was the spirit beast to fight? But it saw an extremely tiny purple centipede. Am I supposed to fight this centipede? A big question mark appeared on its two heads. His four eyes were full of doubt. With the referee's signal, the Demon King Emperor unhurriedly crawled towards the two-headed snake, as if taking a stroll in its own backyard. At this moment, the two-headed snake looked at the Demon King Emperor, and the Demon King Emperor spoke, "I'm just passing by. My home is right here." Subsequently, the two-headed snake directly ignored the Demon King Emperor on the ground. Its four eyes vigilantly looked around. However, the next second, the Demon King Emperor followed the gaps in its scales and drilled into its body. Then, the two-headed snake fell to the ground with a thud, unconscious. What happened? At this moment, Dao Tian quickly ran to the side of the two-headed snake and tried to wake up the two-headed snake. "You lost," I said with a look of disdain. "What did you do? You cheated. I didn't even see your spirit beast. You're too despicable." Dao Tian angrily pointed at me and questioned. "A loss is a loss. Your trash spirit beast can't even see where my spirit beast is. You tell me, isn't your spirit beast trash?" I retorted directly. However, he took the two-headed snake back into its spirit beast space, turned around and summoned another spirit beast, the golden-eyed poison frog. "Golden-eye, do you see any other spirit beasts on the field?" Shimada asked the golden-eyed poison frog. "No others. Only saw a slow-crawling purple centipede," the golden-eyed poison frog said, its eyes staring at the Demon King Emperor. "Damn it! His spirit beast is actually a small centipede. Kill it." His spirit beast was surprisingly a small centipede that killed him, Dao Tian said fiercely. The next second, the golden-eyed poison frog stared at the Demon King Emperor slowly crawling towards it, and suddenly stuck out its tongue. Its tongue not only had mucus, but also contained potent venom. The next moment, the golden-eyed poison frog suddenly began to foam at the mouth. Its eyes rolled back, its limbs became limp, and it lay motionless on the ground. "Oh no, master! Its tongue scraped my venomous fangs. It seems like it's going to die from poisoning," the Demon King Emperor said apologetically. I was speechless. I also didn't expect such a situation to occur. As for that two-headed snake, it was just paralyzed in its lower body. But this golden-eyed poison frog was directly killed by itself. With an embarrassed expression, I turned my head to look at Zhang Daoyuan. As for Zhang Daoyuan, he didn't know the golden-eyed poison frog was poisoned to death by the Demon King Emperor. He only thought I was asking him if I had been too heavy-handed. "Referee, announce the result," Zhang Daoyuan said proudly. "I announce Chen Feng's victory in this round. May I ask if the Japanese team leader wishes to continue the challenge?" The referee's mouth was curved high. He smiled and nodded at me. It was so satisfying. Dao Tian, who was just now flaunting his power, instantly became like an eggplant hit by frost. And everyone was so shocked by me that they couldn't speak. What happened? Won again? What kind of spirit beast is this? Why is it so mighty? Its beast cannot be seen, only its might is seen. Song Yi's eyes widened even more. He was slapped in the face too quickly by me. And Gao Liang and Bai Xinyue also had looks of astonishment. The three of them now looked at me with changed expressions. This was their last teammate. Simply too strong. What exactly happened to Dao Tian? Sakata asked Dao Tianjiro quietly. He still hasn't seen my spirit beast. It's a centipede spirit beast. My golden-eyed poison frog itself already has poison attribute, yet it was still poisoned and injured by his centipede. Dao Tianjiro said, "Since it's a venomous centipede spirit beast, then the next one, just let the small wild vegetables with pre-sale long-range attacks deal with him," Sakata said. In the Neon Nations team, a skinny blonde-haired youth walked out. "I, from Dragon Nation, will use my summoned beast to crush your pretentious summoned beast into dust." Koyasai looked at me and said provocatively in accented Dragon Nation speech, "Summoned beast, come out." Koyasai took 2 steps forward and directly summoned his 2-star high-tier summoned beast. It was actually a 2-star high-tier ghost-masked spirit pearl. After Bai Xinyue and the other 2 saw Koyasai's summoned beast, they all stood up in shock. A ghost-masked spirit pearl. It's a summoned beast ranked among the top 50 in S-class bloodlines. It comes with a skill poison net projection. We're done for. Chen Feng's summoned beast is in danger. His summoned beast should be an insect type. This ghost-masked spirit pearl is a natural insect hunter. Tell Chen Feng to surrender. Gao Liang said, then turned to look at Zhang Daoyuan. But he was interrupted by Zhang Daoyuan halfway through his sentence. Watch the match carefully, Zhang Daoyuan said through gritted teeth. However, his inner thoughts were completely opposite to his outward appearance. At this moment he was secretly overjoyed. He tried hard not to laugh, his face turning red from holding it in. Just so I could cripple a few more of the Neon Nation team's pet beasts. Meanwhile, the Neon Nation's team leader, Sakata, seeing Zhang Daoyuan's solemn expression, immediately felt reassured. Yoshi, it seems this Dragon Nation team leader is already panicking. Teacher Zhang, we've already agreed to the match. Your Dragon Nation can't back out now. Can you? Just start the fight already. Why so much nonsense? Zhang Daoyuan tried hard not to laugh. But just as Sakata was about to continue his taunts, Tuda Jairu, who was beside him, suddenly clutched his head and cried out loudly, then fell directly to his knees. What's wrong, Tuda-kun? Sakata, still stubbornly mocking Zhang Daoyuan, quickly turned and squatted down to check on Tuda. Teacher, he killed my pet beast. My head hurts so much. Tuda pointed at me and cried out in pain. What? Which pet beast did he kill? Sakata instantly stood up. It was the golden-eyed poison frog. As soon as Tuda said this, the 4 people from the Neon Nation instantly exploded in anger/shock. At this point, Sakata proposed to start a revenge match. A revenge match means that after I kill their summoned beast, they have absolute say in controlling whether the match continues until all their summoned beasts are exhausted, or they voluntarily stop the match. Meanwhile, Zhang Daoyuan, who had been silent, suddenly stood up. He walked over to my ear with a serious expression. Anyone could see that his face was full of worry at that moment. But he leaned into my ear and whispered, Kid, make your magic beast act a little more pathetic. There are still people from the Kimchi Nation tomorrow, right? Try to kill a few more of theirs. His expression was still one of deep concern. His superb acting fooled everyone present. After I heard this, I secretly cursed. Old Zhang's heart is truly dark. Look at his expression, who could tell it was an act? But on the surface, I still nodded gravely and glanced at Koyasai with a look of terror. This instantly made Koyasai and Sakata feel certain. It seems this kid's pet beast is really afraid of the ghost-masked spirit pearl. The ghost-masked spirit pearl actually ate his pet beast, Koyasai said angrily. As his voice fell, the ghost-masked spirit pearl instantly wove a net rapidly, then continuously threw poison nets towards the Demon King Emperor's position. The Demon King Emperor, feigning a pathetic appearance, continuously dodged. Master, look at my performance, is it good? The Demon King Emperor in the arena constantly shifted and moved, his appearance extremely pathetic. Each time he barely dodged the ghost-masked spirit pearl's capture. Pretend one more time. Later we'll have a narrow victory. There are still a few more Neon Nation contestants after this. Understood, Master. After the Demon King Emperor replied, he used his tiny body to stall for a minute. Then, the Demon King Emperor quickly crawled towards the ghost-masked spirit pearl, and with a leap, charged towards the ghost-masked spirit pearl's abdomen. The next moment, the ghost-masked spirit pearl's abdomen churned, and then with a thump, it fell to the ground. However, the Demon King Emperor had only gently bitten it once. As the ghost-masked spirit pearl lay limply on the ground, Koyasai immediately knelt on the ground, clutching his head in pain and screaming loudly. He looked at me with bloodshot eyes and said, You actually killed my pet beast. After saying that, he directly fainted. At this moment, another contestant from the Neon Nation directly released his pet beast. Instantly, a giant crocodile, over 20 meters long and more than 2 meters tall, appeared in the arena. It quickly crawled towards the Demon King Emperor. The Demon King Emperor, looking at the charging giant crocodile, bared its 2 big teeth and aimed at the giant-tailed demon crocodile's pale belly and bit it in one gulp. Suddenly, the giant-tailed demon crocodile felt its head spin, and it immediately flipped onto its back. The Neon Nation contestant, who had originally worn a sinister smile, suddenly clutched his head and squatted down, howling in pain. What's going on? Suddenly, the Neon Nation's team leader abruptly stood up. At this moment, the referee's voice rang out. May I ask if the contestants from Neon Nation wish to continue the match? Continue my foot. No more. Sakata looked back at the several people lying on the ground, gritting his teeth. He truly didn't dare to take risks now. Isn't there the Kimchi Nation next match? Let them fight. Alright, the match is over. Northern University Seed Team wins. As the words fell, the students in the stands immediately began to cheer. Chen Feng, you're amazing. At this moment, Xianxia jogged over to me and said happily, while the other two teammates smiled and nodded at me. On the second day, the duel arena's opponent was the Kimchi Nation. Let's begin. One match to decide the winner. For on 4. The Kimchi Nation's team leader was impatient. Before he entered the arena, he had already instructed his team members in advance. This time, don't hold back. Try your best to cripple all of the Dragon Nation team's summoned beasts. Moreover, America had promised that if they succeeded this time, they would reward them with an S-class bloodline, 2-star mid-tier summoned beast. Even though the Neon Nation and Kimchi Nation weren't strong in previous years, at most having a 2-star mid-tier summoned beast, this year, however, they had received secret support from America. Their strength was comparable to first-tier teams. After the match began, 3 summoned beasts immediately appeared in the arena. They were the summoned beasts of Xianxia and the other 2. As for me, I didn't summon the Demon King Emperor immediately, because this was a team match. I could let the Demon King Emperor no longer be low-key, and also let myself show off properly. Park Jae-woo and Jian Zhuang directly mocked. Release the pet beasts for these Dragon Nation trash. Let them see what a true pet beast is. The next moment, the several people led by Park Jae-woo directly released their pet beasts. For giant birds flew out from a portal of light. Their wings spread wide, obscuring half of the arena's sunlight. They were actually 4 bird-type pet beasts, and all of them were 2-star high-tier pet beasts. The students in the stands were all incredibly surprised. They're actually 4 moon-chasing wind-chime birds. These aren't the kind of summoned beasts the Kimchi Nation should have. I squinted, looking at the 4 white-feathered giant birds in the sky, and slowly said, what should we do? They actually have 4 flying summoned beasts. Senior Songs and Senior Gao's summoned beasts definitely can't reach them. Chen Feng, can your summoned beast attack them? Xianxia said, turning to look at me. Small problem, I said with a cold laugh. I originally wanted to let them have 3 moves, but it seems I can't now. In the previous match, I hadn't revealed the Demon King Emperor's true strength to him. But today I must give everyone a surprise. How about we surrender? After all, the gap is clear. It's not shameful. As long as the Green Mountains remain, there'll be wood to burn. Gao Liang said, then looked at me. His face was also very gloomy at this moment. He was actually unwilling to surrender like this, but with the strength disparity, one had to be cowardly when it was called for. No need. Just watch me for a bit. I saw myself with my hands in my pockets, looking at the 4 moon-chasing hummingbirds in the sky. I slowly said, you 3, put your hands in your pockets. I'll take you to show off. I looked at the moon-chasing hummingbirds in the sky and said to the 3 of them, Chen Feng, this is no time for jokes. We should think about how to lose less miserably. Xianxia advised, alright, you're giving up this chance to show off yourselves. Don't regret it later. I saw myself looking at the stage below, shouting, Jade Gate open. The sound of Jade Gate open came from my dantian, and was extremely loud, causing people nearby to turn their heads. Why is it this light again? The Jade Gate looks so tiny for a big jade beast. What's the point? However, the next second, a giant centipede head emerged from the Jade Gate. Just its head appearing already occupied half of the dueling arena. You should know, this beast arena was at least 10 football fields in size, yet at this moment a single centipede head actually took up most of it. The 4 demonic beasts all trembled. Instantly, everyone's jaws dropped. What a huge centipede. Good heavens, is that a centipede immortal? Some were even so scared their whole bodies trembled. In the air above the beast arena, originally half was occupied by the 4 moon-chasing wind spirit birds. However, now, just the head of the demon lord centipede dared to surpass their combined size. It directly occupied half of the beast arena. The 4 moon-chasing maple forest birds trembled all over. They forcibly controlled their bodies to circle in the air, not daring to approach the demon lord centipede by an inch. They had never seen such a jade beast. And the demon lord centipede looked at by Xianxia's 3 jade beasts, its 2 huge eyes staring directly at the 3 pitiful little ones. "Don't be scared, call me Big Brother." The demon lord centipede said in beast language, "Be Big Brother." After the 3 big brothers were called out, the demon lord centipede nodded. It looked again at the 4 moon-chasing wind chime birds. But at this moment, 4 bird-type jade beasts suddenly appeared on the field. Those were the 4 jade beasts of the Korean player. Seeing this, I directly summoned my first magic beast. I heard myself shout, "Jade Gate open!" The next second, a giant centipede head emerged from the Jade Gate. Just its head appearing already occupied half of the dueling arena. The 4 demonic beasts opposite all trembled. And at this moment, Park Jae-woo was already scared silly. He stammered and couldn't speak for a long time. His 3 teammates were also like that. "Quick! Surrender!" Park Jae-woo reacted the fastest, shouting loudly, "Eat them!" I didn't wait for the referee to announce the end of the match, directly giving the order. The demon lord centipede instantly turned into an afterimage and streaked. When I saw it again, where were the wind chime birds in the sky? Then 4 miserable screams rang out one after another. The 4 players from Kimchi Country all screamed, clutching their heads. I announced that Dragon Country wins. The referee only then raised a small flag, announcing the result expressionlessly. Instantly, the audience erupted. "Chen Feng is awesome. The centipede jade beast is invincible." At this moment, Bai Xinyue joyfully ran up to me and asked, "Chen Feng, is your jade beast size change a jade beast skill?" Song Yi and another person's ears twitched. I chuckled, "Something like that." I replied, "Actually, changing size is the demon lord centipede's innate talent. And the demon lord centipede's skill is spatial teleportation. Talent generally refers to skills that demonic beasts or magic beasts possess naturally. They only appear in demonic beasts with rare bloodlines. Due to today's victory, the 4 of us were given a day off by Zhang Daoyuan. The day after tomorrow, the 4 of us will go to a high-level beast domain to search for beasts. And tonight we plan to relax a bit. Song Yi, being a second-generation rich kid from the capital, became the wealthy host for tonight's expenses. But in his words, spending money was no big deal, it's all my dad's anyway. The 4 of us walked through the school, drawing countless students' gazes. Some bold junior girls even directly asked me for autographs. This was the kind of treatment I only enjoyed after struggling for 50 years in my previous life. This I achieved as soon as I turned 18. So I didn't refuse anyone. Autographs, right? Come. I even have some private photos, want some? With abs. After simply dealing with the fans, we headed to the Capital Beast Arena. Tonight, there was a large official beast fighting competition here. Before the match, all spectators could participate in betting. It was also a kind of lottery. The main thing was that this was relatively fairer. All beasts were randomly caught from beast domains. To fully judge the outcome, one must have an extremely thorough understanding of demonic beast knowledge. Therefore, it also promoted a craze for learning about demonic beasts. Because beast fighting competitions were very popular, I occasionally played in my previous life too. And coincidentally, tonight's match was a draw. I currently had exactly 100 million in my pocket, which was the reward from the last ranking competition. Since I knew the result, I definitely had to go all in. I also took this opportunity to get some revenge. I was just thinking of buying some materials and exchanging for some potions that could accelerate the conversion of spirit power for the Demon Palace. Huang He's recovery speed was too slow now, and this was only 1-star mid-level. When it reached 2-star, 3-star, without the help of potions, recovering strength would be even slower. Chen Feng, it's about to start. Do you want to play? I have money here. Song Yi thought I was silent because I wanted to bet but had no money. That's why he fell silent. No need, I have a bit here, I replied with a smile. Soon, it will be a battle between 2 3-star high-level demonic beasts. It's Hu Ma versus Li Ba. Song Yi looked at the match list and said, do we even need to choose? Just blindly pick Li Bao and it's over. Li Bao is a carnivorous demonic beast, while the red tiger horse is a herbivore. The outcome is obvious. Gao Liang said, directly buying 300 yuan for Li Bao via phone. Li Bao. In Xinyue, aren't you playing? Song Yi asked, seeing Bai Xinyue doing nothing. No, I don't like playing this. Bai Xinyue had no interest in gambling. His father owed people money because of gambling, and had one leg broken. So he was naturally resistant to it. Alright then, just watch the show. Song Yi finished speaking and also fiddled with his phone. I'm also betting on Li Bao to win, Song Yi muttered to himself. Chen Feng, what did you choose? Although Bai Xinyue wasn't playing, he was very curious about what I, who hadn't made a choice yet, would bet on. I'll just bet on a draw, I said casually. Then, under Bai Xinyue's very eyes, I typed a string of zeros into my phone. Bet successful. Draw odds 120. Bai Xinyue saw the amount I bet and rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Chen Feng, did you enter too much? He asked, questioning. Those zeros are really too many. They're making my eyes dizzy. Let me see what's going on. Song Yi was also warm-hearted. He quickly leaned in front of me and looked at my phone. Units, tens, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions. You just bet. 100 million and on a draw. You must have made a mistake. Song Yi's entire face was a picture of utter bewilderment. Between us, who's the rich second generation, really? Whose family bets 100 million right off the bat? Holy crap. Chen Feng, what kind of family do you come from? 100 million on a draw. Do you know there hasn't been a draw in almost a year? These two demonic beasts would have to attack each other simultaneously and die at the same time after being hit for it to be a draw. My mind is a bit blown. Is your hidden identity a vice president? Gao Liang looked at me with an expression like I was an idiot. I bought it because the odds were high. Xinyue, do you want to bet? The odds are 120, you know. If you win, it'll multiply 20 times. I said with a smile. Bai Xinyue was stunned. You want to give people money and still want a cut. Forget it, he's quite pitiful. How about I follow with 200? I'll follow with 200. Bai Xinyue said weakly. Then, without waiting for Song Yi and the other to persuade them, he silently pulled out his phone and intimidated Bai. After the beast-fighting match started on even terms, cheers erupted continuously from the stands. The vast majority of people dreamed of getting rich overnight. The battle situation on the field was not optimistic. One could only see Li Bao chasing the red tiger horse, running wildly all over the arena. The disparity was too obvious. In just a moment, the red tiger horse was caught by Li Bao. He continuously and forcefully attacked the red tiger horse's two hind legs, hoping to slow down the red tiger horse, which was desperately fleeing. In an instant, a brutal close-quarters battle broke out. The red tiger horse neighed loudly. It dared not turn back and directly confront Li Bao. This is the very plot. Watching the events in the arena, I nodded secretly. Everything was the same as in my previous life. Before the match began in my previous life, many people said this match today was a guaranteed win. So all the gamblers in Dragon Country came out, all of them placing heavy bets on today's match. They all believed Li Bao was sure to win. Of course, some also chose to take a chance and bet on the red tiger horse. What if it won? But no one expected the two of them to end in a draw. At this moment, I was like an old monk in deep meditation, sitting calmly in the stands, watching the chase unfolding below. I was even already planning to go buy some potion ingredients first thing tomorrow morning, then go to school and make some low-level potions in the lab. But Bai Xinyue was Shaolian, tensely watching the notification screen on her phone, showing a bet of 200. This was 1/10 of her entire living expenses for a month. Her father divorced her mother because of gambling. That was when she had just started her freshman year, when she was full of vigor and high spirits. After all, she was a genius. The scholarship money the school gave her, she used a portion of it to buy a jade hand. The rest was all, before the divorce, taken by her father to pay off debts. So, these 200 yuan for her was truly a massive sum. If she lost these 200, she might have to starve for at least 4 or 5 days. But at this moment, Li Bao on the field rapidly charged towards the red tiger horse. Meanwhile, Bai Xinyue, who was blaming herself, was startled by a loud shout from the referee on the field, and her attention was diverted. Li Bao was about to deliver the killing blow. With a jolt, She instantly turned her head to look at the field below. At this moment, Li Bao had already surged past from the side, pouncing towards the red tiger horse's neck. Meanwhile, the red tiger horse whinnied repeatedly. She glanced at me sideways, thinking to herself, he's truly composed. Could he be the legendary super-rich scion? Compared to him, it was as if she was the one who had bet 100 million. Bai Xinyue muttered inwardly. And at this moment, I was grinning from ear to ear, continuously shouting in my heart, "Come on!" The next moment, Li Bao had already pounced onto the red tiger horse's neck, his raised claws brandished using all his strength. If the strike were to hit the red tiger horse's throat, it would certainly be shattered. However, at this very moment, the red tiger horse, originally waiting to be slaughtered, suddenly raised its foreleg, which it had never raised before, and kicked towards Li Bao's head. Everything happened in a flash. The next second, Li Bao indeed shattered the red tiger horse's throat, but he himself was also kicked in the head by the red tiger horse. The red tiger horse fell to the ground on the spot. Meanwhile, Li Bao, with his skull caved in, flew across the arena, crashing into the stone wall of the beast-fighting arena 10 meters away. Motionless. What? Everyone in the audience stands instantly rose to their feet. They gasped in astonishment. How can it be a draw? A draw hasn't occurred for at least a year. Replay. We want to see the replay. On the arena's big screen, a replay with slow motion was showing the final moments of the two beasts' battle. In a castle in England, Delina looked at the information in her hand, extremely excited. Name: Chen Feng Jade Beast. Unknown species: Purple Centipede. Jade Beast rank: 1 heart middle stage. Other information: none noteworthy. No information about this person could be verified. He only recently appeared in the northern part of Dragon Country. When the Beast Taming University's main team was defeated by Neon Country, this person, as the last team member, entered the public arena. Afterwards, his Jade Beast used only one move to defeat a 4- to 2-star high-tier Jade Beast from Kimchi Country. This person's identity is full of suspicious points. It is recommended to observe him closely. Aileen instantly stood up in excitement. Observe closely, my ass. He's my future husband. Aileen grumbled a retort. At this moment, there wasn't a trace of ladylike demeanor about her. Instead, she was like a child who had received candy. She took out her phone and called her mother. Mother, I've found my savior. Mother, his name is Chen Feng. I'm gonna find him right now. Give him a surprise. By the way, I want to change my nationality. I want to join Dragon Nation. As long as we hand over the American secret data we possess to Dragon Nation, they will definitely agree to my request to change nationality. At this moment, I was with Bai Xinyue and had already arrived at Hailin City's cultivation zone. As soon as I entered the cultivation zone, I felt dizzy and disoriented. The next instant, I felt a sudden sharp pain in my back. A powerful current surged through my body. Then, I felt as if something had been placed over my head, and it felt like my arm had been pricked by a needle. Immediately after, an anesthetic injection slowly made me lose consciousness. Bai Xinyue, my throat constricted. I tried to call out to Bai Xinyue, but no one responded. I could only feel myself being lifted. Unknown fear made even me, who had been as steady as a mountain for years, feel a little flustered. It was truly too professional. Although I couldn't move now, my mind was still constantly thinking about the current situation. The ground shook violently, teleporting in. The prison time was also 1 meter longer than usual. Could it be a Beast Jade fusion? During Beast Jade fusion, entering the Beast Jade will randomly teleport oneself. This matter, I'm definitely not in the normal entry point for the Beast Jade. Bai Xinyue must have also been randomly teleported. This is a high-star Beast Jade, and it's happening during a fusion. What if Bai Xinyue is directly teleported to a high-star demon beast, or even to another Beast Jade that has merged with this one? With her strength, she's sure to die. But right now, the priority is to determine my own situation. Electric shock, anesthetic, and a hood, a seamless combo. Most likely, it's an exploration team. Only the elites of an exploration team could do something so professional. I just don't know which country's exploration team they are. The country closest to this beneficial area should be Yamato Nation and Kimchi Nation. I hope it's not Kimchi Nation's exploration team. You should know that among their forces, there are beautiful prison beast masters. I was just thinking, when I felt someone rummaging through my clothes. It's someone from our Dragon Nation. Quickly stop the current output. The familiar language of the Dragon Nation instantly put my mind at ease. It seems to be the Dragon Nation's Pioneer Corps. The next moment, my eyes lit up. Someone pulled off the black cloth hood from my head. The current input had also stopped. Now I can summon my beasts at any time. But the anesthetic was still in effect. For now I still couldn't move. My apologies, friend. We also acted out of caution. You suddenly appeared in our vicinity. We thought you were from the Kimchi Nation's Pioneer Corps. The one speaking was a young man with a buzz cut. He appeared to be in his 20s. I tried to clear my throat and asked, "Have you seen a girl?" "We are from the Northern Beast Taming University of the Glory Nation, members of the seed team. This time, the two of us came to contract beasts. But as soon as we came in, we were randomly teleported apart." I hastily said, "My apologies. Your name is Chen Feng, right? We haven't seen any girl." The buzz-cut youth's expression stiffened. "There are actually others here. This is troublesome now. Since Bai Xinyue isn't here, then I must act quickly. Every second, Bai Xinyue could be in danger. I'm very sorry, but you can't leave now. You are confined. As for the girl you mentioned, we will help you find her." The buzz-cut youth stopped me and said, "Why am I confined? You and another, did you fight with a Beast Domain Pioneer Corps? Or for some other reason?" I asked. This was the conclusion I had just drawn. Generally, Beast Domain fusions at border areas will inevitably trigger resource contention between two nations. Anyway, it's not like we're fighting on Blue Star. Whoever wins gets the resources. You know about Beast Domain fusion? The buzz-cut youth's heart skipped a beat. This is classified information. I sneered and said, "Of course I know. However, I hope you can help me find my team as soon as possible. Her name is Bai Xinyue." I nodded first, then added, "Okay. I'll relay that now." After the buzz-cut youth responded, he quickly pulled out a walkie-talkie. 0101. This is Chai Lang. Target has awakened. Identity confirmed. Chen Feng. Citizen of Dragon Country. Member of the Northern Presale University Seed Team. Identity is reliable. Chen Feng said he has a classmate who was also randomly teleported into Showdown. Please notify all channels that her name is Bai Xinyue, a 2-star beast master. After the youth, codenamed Chai Lang, received a reply, he put the walkie-talkie back into his pocket. After briefly understanding the situation in Showdown, the walkie-talkie buzzed. Calling Chai Lang. Bai Xinyue has appeared on the front line. She was teleported to the front line troops and into the battlefield with Kimchi Country. Fox is currently escorting her back. Are you ready to escort Chen Feng to evacuate? The tone of that voice was clearly off. The change was very obvious. Normally, every member of the pioneering force speaks with a strong, confident voice. "Lion, what happened?" I hastily asked. After all, I'm someone who has lived for a millennium. Of course I could tell Chai Lang's mood was off. "Nothing is happening. I'll first escort you out of Showdown in a moment. As for your classmate, she's currently on her way here. Let's go first," Chai Lang said, feigning ease. Just then, a piercing shriek came from outside. The sound was extremely grating. It was like a malicious sound tearing through the air. Chai Lang quickly ran out of the house. I followed closely behind. I knew the sound all too well. It was an electromagnetic pulse interference from America, but the sound of it breaking through the air. Its main purpose was to interfere with the opponent's electromagnetic equipment, such as walkie-talkies. I looked at the sky and instantly realized the seriousness of the situation. This honored fusion event Kimchi Country was definitely prepared for. This interference bomb was the best proof. And since the opponent launched an interference bomb, it meant they must already be very close to here. Fake Bai Xinyue was definitely in danger. A bad premonition enveloped my heart. "Let's go quickly. I'll get you out first." Jackal also knew what interference meant, he said through gritted teeth. But when he turned to look at me, he was stunned on the spot. He saw a red jade gate, 100 meters high, rise from the ground. In his line of sight, a giant purple centipede, so large it was suffocating, quickly crawled out from the jade gate. Its thick centipede legs moved forward with a rhythmic pulsation. The ground trembled again from the impact. Trees originally over 20 meters tall were casually trampled by it. And at this moment, I was standing on top of Mushroom Yellow. Mushroom Yellow kept moving forward rapidly. In about a minute, suddenly ahead, a giant male beast over 50 meters tall appeared in my sight. I narrowed my eyes slightly. With my eyesight, I could tell that this giant male beast was at least 8 or 9-star level. I was slightly startled in my heart. How could such a high-tier spirit beast appear? Although Mushroom Yellow was a solid demon beast, the problem was I was only at the strength of a 1-star mid-tier. Moreover, Demon Emperor was not a pure offensive-type demon beast. Its greatest use was for escape. The next moment, Demon Emperor and the giant male beast met. The giant male beast, originally massive in size, visibly paused for a moment. His huge mouth opened very wide. Such a large centipede truly exceeded its scope of understanding. I stood atop Demon Emperor, looking down, assuming the posture of an expert. Moreover, I am inherently a scheming old ancestor who has lived for 1,000 years. Now, I am merely returning to my true overlord status. And the master of the great hero must look up if they wish to see me. Coupled with the massive body of this demon craft emperor, I just ask you, do you dare to make a move? A gasp came from a beast tamer of the dragon country. As a Korean, I thought, my ears twitching slightly. My eyes darted. A hint of a smile appeared at the corner of my mouth. The next moment I spoke in Korean, loyalty. Brave descendants of the sun. This was something I had learned in my previous life. An example of the high-ranking beast tamers of Korea. It was usually used by 2 beast tamers undercover in other countries to confirm each other's identities. The one on the great hero was a middle-aged man. He hadn't expected me to actually utter their secret code. This secret code was top secret in Korea. Only beast tamers of 8-star rank and above were privy to it. A flash of joy appeared in his eyes, and he responded, Iron-blooded justice. Reclaim everything. Which unit are you from? I asked, adopting a condescending posture. Song Jung Ki's unit. Pan Hao, Sun 8-star beast tamer. Song Yijian sends his regards to you. Song Yijian replied excitedly. Our cooperation with America this time was very successful. I have already cleared out the Dragon Country's troops. There's no need to go any deeper. Let's return to our country first. My title is inconvenient to disclose. However, I can tell you this. I am from the Council of Elders. I said slowly. The Council of Elders. An official secret organization of Korea. Only beast tamers of 9-star rank and above could join. When Song Yijian heard that I was from the Council of Elders, his heart instantly trembled. He had only heard of such important figures, but had never actually seen one. In fact, Song Yijian was not a fool. The reason he could be so easily fooled by me was simply because I knew too many of Korea's top secrets. There were simply too many. For example, the secret code and the Council of Elders. Just these 2 things alone were not something other countries could possibly know. Furthermore, coupled with the demon craft emperor beneath my feet, Song Yijian understood. All the beast masters from Dragon Country have their own distinct style. They simply disdain using other identities. They always strike like thunder, killing in one blow. By the way, do you know that a little girl from Dragon Country was transported to the battlefield? I asked again, looking down on him. The little girl from Dragon Country. I have some impression of her. Just now, when I was hunting down a member of Dragon Country's pioneer unit. His spirit beast was a fox. I remember he was holding a little girl in his arms. I don't know if that's the one you're looking for. Song Yijian said cautiously. What? A Dragon Country beast master escaped? Why didn't you say so earlier? Asaba. I cursed loudly, as if furious. Song Yijian immediately stammered. I'm sorry. I've brought shame upon Kimchi Country. But his spirit fox ran too fast. My Juxiong isn't a speed-type beast. Song Yijian quickly lowered his head, nervously admitting his mistake and explaining. How could you leave behind such a hidden danger? Which direction did he run in? Lead the way, we'll go catch him and bring him back. I snorted coldly. My tone carried a hint of disappointment. This made Song Yijin lower his head in shame. I didn't disgrace Kimchi Country. I've already killed 3 Dragon Country officers. What? He dared to kill my Dragon Country's beast masters. Although I had anticipated it, towering rage still surged in my heart. Lead the way, I said through gritted teeth. Song Yijin nodded and walked ahead. 1 yuan, 1 hero, completely exposing his back to me and the Demon Lord. Kill. The next moment, the Demon Lord's huge mouth opened, directly engulfing Juxiong's head. This also included Song Yijin, who was standing on its head. Juxiong's head was directly torn off by the Demon Lord. Then their figures completely disappeared. All of them were devoured by the Demon Lord. A surge of pure demonic power was fed back to me. In an instant, my level reached 1-star high tier. I was even just a step away from advancing to 2-star. This made my heart feel a slight thrill. I finally leveled up. Before this, the Demon Lord was always hungry. So the leveling speed is quite slow. As long as I upgrade to 2-star, I will be able to summon my second magic beast. By then, if I encounter a 10-star jade beast, even a master would be instantly killed by me and turned to dust. The Duke and the Emperor moved quickly, heading straight towards Xianxia. At this moment, Xianxia and a Dragon Kingdom Beastmaster arrived at a cave. Little girl, hide well here. I'll go lead them away. Otherwise, they will soon search this place. Be careful. Xianxia looked at the middle-aged man in front of her, her voice filled with worry. Just now, it was this Dragon Kingdom Beastmaster who, despite being injured, rescued her from the battlefield. At that time, she was teleported to the battlefield. Around her were tall, fierce, high-star jade beasts battling. Dazzling skills flew everywhere. Just as she was about to be affected by the skills, a fox jade beast saved her. Afterwards, among the Kimchi Kingdom team, a black-skinned Stone Star Beastmaster appeared. After the Stone Star Beastmaster appeared, the battle on the field became one-sided. In the end, only the fox escaped with Xianxia. Everyone else died in battle on the way. Don't worry, I am a 7-star Jade Beastmaster. As long as I don't encounter that Stone Star guy, I won't have any problems. The fox tried to smile, its expression was forced. He just wanted to use this method to reassure the poor female student in front of him. After the fox finished speaking, it turned and left the cave. Then it sat on a jade beast and ran off in another direction. Behind it, a giant gorilla jade beast followed closely. The gorilla had a tall, black-skinned human standing on its head. He was that beautiful and fashionable beastmaster, Nej. Damn it, and the jade beasts behind him, all standing on their heads, were Kimchi Kingdom beastmasters. The fox's speed was actually not slow, but because he was previously punched by Nej's solid gorilla, suffered internal injuries, so he hadn't run long before he spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. This greatly startled the fox. Just then, the ground suddenly shook violently. The next moment, a black gorilla rapidly plummeted from the sky. Dragon Country. Surrender. No killing. The cabinet sneered. He spoke, and at this moment, I was standing on the Demon Emperor's head, searching for Xianxia. Suddenly, a loud bang caught my attention. Judging by the sound, this jade beast is at least 10-star. Go over there and check it out. First, casually devour 2 6 or 7-star jade beasts. Let me first level up to 2-star. I said to the Demon Emperor in my mind. But can your body handle this? Forcibly breaking through. You won't be able to absorb jade demonic power for the next month. The Demon Emperor asked tentatively. You are my first demon beast. You've followed me for hundreds of years, you should understand me. It's just that I can't absorb jade demonic power for a month. And once I reach 2-star, I will simultaneously have 2 true demon beasts. Do you think, at this current point in time, how many people in this world can be my opponent? As I spoke, a hint of ruthlessness flashed in my eyes. I understand, the Demon Emperor said, then instantly accelerated. His ruthless master is about to return. Previously, the Demon Emperor saw me being so low-key every day. He thought my personality had changed after my rebirth. I didn't expect it was just cultivating in secret. Alas, Brother Joe is coming back. The once ruthless and scheming old ancestor is also returning. The Demon Emperor sighed deeply in his heart. In an instant, the demon emperor stopped. Master, there's a group of jade beasts ahead. It looks like the dragon country jade beast that protected by Xianxia has probably been caught. The demon emperor said, Go over and first devour 2 of the weakest ones to let me reach 2-star. My gaze fixed on the enormous black gorilla ahead. I said coldly. The gorilla's massive body was somewhat like King Kong from the movies. But compared to the demon emperor, its aura clearly seemed a notch lower. The demon emperor's speed was extremely fast. The next second, he appeared directly behind the cabinet's group. Suddenly, the cabinet felt a chill down its spine. Turning around instantly, they saw a 100-meter-tall purple centipede. On the centipede's head stood a young man. The cabinet was the first to speak. Your Excellency is a master from Dragon Country. The cabinet controlled the gorilla, making it turn around. He looked at me and asked, And the other 7-6, or 7-star kimchi boss? Beast taming career. All turned around. However, the next second, before the 7 could react, the demon emperor directly swallowed 3 of them. Completely disregarded martial ethics. This was too easy to swallow. Much dumber than the enemies I encountered in my previous life. The demon emperor sighed. I felt the demon-controlling power being forcibly transmitted into my body, enduring the tearing pain in my muscles. I took a long breath. Damn it! Don't let him get away! The cabinet roared. He controlled the gorilla beneath him, making it leap directly into the air. In midair, the gorilla formed fists with both hands and smashed down at me with the force of Mount Tai. Its 2 massive fists instantly turned crimson, and magma constantly dripped from them. This was his skill, magma adhesion. Don't underestimate this simple skill. Real tamed beasts. The bonus damage from any skill is a terrifying existence. Let me tell you, in 3 seconds, I felt the constant, forceful injection of demon-controlling power into my body, and said, The demon engineer Huang Wenyan directly shifted the front half of his body sideways. He changed direction, instantly dodged the gorilla's falling debris. The fist landed, magma splattering everywhere. The 2 massive fists, like small mountains, smashed into the ground. The trees on the ground instantly, the constructed lava ignited. The airwave created by the fists uprooted the surrounding trees. The fox, originally seeing support from a dragon country master, great joy filled my heart. But seeing that I could only passively take hits, without any intention of fighting back, his heart gradually grew anxious. What to do? Now his own summoned beast is also injured. And the senior sent by the official Rong Nation was again held back by the American fellow. The problem is, no one knows if America has any other hidden moves. Senior, be careful. Quickly summon other spirit beasts. First, instantly kill the summoner on top of the gorilla's head. The fox also reminded out of good intentions. But his words immediately made the cabinet react. Thank you for your reminder. After the cabinet finished speaking, he waved his large hand. 100-meter-tall black-skinned lizard instantly appeared. This is the cabinet's 2nd popular summon beast. The summoner from Dragon Nation. If you only have this one trendy demonic beast, then I'm sorry, you're dead for sure. The cabinet shouted with a laugh. This is my internal summoning power surging, directly forcing me to ascend to a 2-star summoner, unlocking the next summoning space. The next second, I spoke coldly. Do you think only you have a second 10-star summon beast? Then I let out a loud shout. Jade Gate, open. In an instant, a massive jade gate with jet black pillars rose from the ground. A subtle pressure of death emanated from within. This jade gate was also 100 meters tall. Its imposing presence was terrifying. The cabinet gazed at the jade gate. His heart involuntarily trembled. The gorilla beneath his feet also subconsciously backed away. It is understood to be the eye. Its eyes vigilantly watched the jade gate with black pillars, continuously flicking its tongue. The next second, an extremely sharp sound came from within the jade gate. It was human language, but the timbre did not sound like a human's. Master, you finally remembered me. This time, my injuries are quite severe. I'll need to eat at least him. 10 or 8 solid demonic beasts would be needed. As the voice faded, a colossal black shadow slowly drifted out from the jade gate. 100 meters tall, it blotted out the sky and covered the sun. It had no feet nor a physical body. Its entire body was composed of black mist. It was like a giant 3D shadow. Its 2 arms, embedded with 2 huge cinemas. Its 2 wrists were each entwined by 2 massive black chains. The black chains extended directly into the Jade Gate, adding a touch of ferocity to its appearance. At its heart, a vortex of black mist could be seen. Slow accuracy. This is my second preformed solid demon lure. The moment it appeared, the surrounding air instantly dropped by several degrees. Master, you've cultivated again. Do you need me to slaughter this little centipede for you first? It just so happens I haven't eaten centipede legs in a long time. The black shadow first let out a surprised sound. Then it greedily looked at the demon lord. The demonic emperor subconsciously tightened his anus. Its countless legs subsequently retracted slightly. No need to clear the field first, right? I'll explain the rest to you later. Oh, and that fox, demonic beast, and the person wearing a Dragon Kingdom military uniform are on our side. After speaking, he added another warning, fearing it might slaughter their own people as well. As for the shadow demon, it didn't seem like a creature that should exist in this world at all. It was like a soul, a spiritual entity, immune to all physical attacks, and its attack struck directly at the soul. However, its greatest hobby once was to casually cut off 2 centipede legs to eat as a snack. What kind of tamed beast is that? Naga looked at the colossal black shadow opposite him. His heart trembled. His brain was already numb at this moment. It was the fear that naturally arose when facing the unknown. He had never seen such a tamed beast. Even in the secret files of the American military, it had never been seen. Is this truly something that should exist in the human world? You're just food. Why so many questions? Inemo snorted coldly. The next moment, his figure appeared directly beside the gorilla. The massive shadow blade on his arm was already piercing the gorilla's neck. And the gorilla didn't react at all. Jushi, seeing this, still wanted to attack Inemo, to help the gorilla out of its predicament, and incidentally save its master, Nej. However, he thought too much. Inemo's figure flickered again. He appeared, looking down above Jushi's head. The shadow blade on his arm swung downwards. Jushi's eyes widened. The 100-meter-tall creature collapsed helplessly to the ground. Immediately, Nej screamed, clutching his head. Inemo stood in the void. With a wave of his arm, the blade instantly pierced through Nej's body. As if eating a Western meal, he impaled Nej on the blade and slowly brought him to his mouth. However, all of this only took the time of a single breath. However, those prepared to assist the cabinet's 4 members in the Kimchi Country presale incident. Seeing this, they completely panicked. Run, run. The 4 presale warriors were terrified. They commanded their presale mounts beneath them to scatter and flee in all 4 directions. East, south, west, and north, to increase their chances of survival. But it was all in vain. Before Inemo could even make a move, the Demon Emperor directly used his spatial impulse skill. Like a gluttonous snake with a cheat enabled, he swallowed them one by one. It must be said, this skill of the Demon Emperor was simply a miracle for both escape and pursuit. Inemo didn't even look at the Demon Emperor. They were an old demon-beast duo who had cooperated for many years. They still had basic tacit understanding. As for my other 9 demon beasts, they were responsible for dealing with powerful opponents. The Demon Emperor, this little brother, could only pick off the weakest ones. Each time, the Demon Emperor could drink some soup like this. After the battle, Inemo used his massive shadow blade to cut and dismember the 2 solid jade beasts, as he continuously sent the chunks of meat into his mouth. The core of awakening within his heart continued to accelerate, rotating expansively just like a human heart beating even more powerfully. The shadow demon respectfully said to me, "Master, not full yet, are you?" I asked with concern. "Yes. It's mainly because recovering from my injuries requires too much energy. If I had another 10 solid demon beasts, that should be enough." The shadow demon showed its arm to me on the arm, which was originally formed from black shadow. There was surprisingly a hollow section several tens of meters long. It was a penetrating wound. "Your injury is still considered minor. Little Dragon and the others were the most severely injured. However, in the end, we still managed to contract that thing." I glanced at the wound on the shadow demon's arm and said slowly, "As for other matters, let Demon Duke Emperor tell you. I'll go check on that Dragon Country Beastmaster. As I spoke, I jumped down from Demon Duke Emperor's head and slowly walked towards Fox. Fox was already petrified with fear at this moment. He had never seen such terrifying tamed beasts before, and there were two of them at once. At this moment, he continuously asked himself in his mind, who am I? Where am I? Is he really the Dragon Country's Beastmaster? And that centipede and shadow? What kind of tamed beasts were they exactly? Why were they able to instantly kill the two solid-core tamed beasts of the Inner Council? The three-tailed white fox beneath him was also continuously trembling, instinctively wanting to adopt a defensive posture. But its violently trembling body revealed its panicked heart at this moment. Both the person and the beast knew I was the Dragon Country Beastmaster, but they simply couldn't suppress the fear in their hearts. Seeing me approach, Fox quickly put his tamed beast into his spatial storage. Are you all right? I walked up to him and patted his shoulder. I'm fine, Senior, Fox stammered in reply. Being patted on the shoulder by me left him flattered and alarmed. Don't be nervous. What's your name? I sized up the short-haired, middle-aged man in front of me. Reporting, sir. My name is Xianxia, codename Fox. I am Hylian 210, assigned as the squad leader of Pioneer Unit Squad 5. Xianxia stood ramrod straight at attention. Where are the others? You've retreated from the front line. No need to be so reserved. Take your time, officer. The front line? The front line has already been occupied by the Kimchi Nation and the United States. A large number of unknown demonic beasts have appeared there. I suspect they are demon beasts. Squads 1 through 5 were all wiped out. To protect a student who had mistakenly wandered onto the battlefield, that's why I became a deserter. Officer, punish me, Xianxia said. Tears as big as beans gushed forth. He gritted his teeth. His mind was filled with images of his teammates' heroic sacrifices. Officer, I hid that student in a cave. He's safe now. Xianxia added. All right, I understand. Go to the cave and retrieve him, and return to the nearest outpost. I waved my hand, nodded and gave an instruction. And you, sir? I'll go reclaim the factory for you. From now on, this fusion assignment will be decided by Dragon Nation. After I finished speaking, I turned and jumped onto the head of the Demon Engineer Emperor. The Demon Engineer Emperor's body instantly accelerated, heading to the front line at top speed. Not long after, we arrived at the front line battlefield. The ground was a gray expanse, filled with burnt trees and uneven trenches formed by battle. Occasionally, one could still see the bones of tamed beasts on the ground. At this moment, I stood atop the Demon Engineer Emperor's head, gazing towards the distant camp where wisps of cooking smoke rose. That was the United States and the Kimchi Nation's camp, just set up by their Jade Beastmasters. Seeing this, the rage in my heart instantly ignited. I immediately summoned my second demon beast. Then I shouted loudly, Jade Gate, open! Instantly, a massive, pitch-black pillar-like jade gate rose from the earth. A subtle pressure of death emanated from within it. This is my second solid demon beast. Process it with black grinding. Be careful. They're probably eating. No need to leave any survivors. Looked coldly towards the camp's direction. He added, let's use skills. Let's finish this quickly. Then we'll go for a stroll around the Kimchi Expo. Still thinking about eating when death is imminent. The shadow demon snorted coldly. The next moment, its figure had already appeared above the camp. The shadow blade in its hand instantly rose towards the sky, piercing into the clouds. In an instant, the sky for dozens of miles around darkened. A rumbling sound was deafening, as if the sky had been shattered. Thunder constantly struck the clouds. Every rumble struck fear into people's hearts. Darkness enveloped the sky above the Kimchi Nation's camp. As the shadow demon continuously gathered power, this overwhelming aura continued to emanate. The remaining personnel within the Kimchi Nation's camp also noticed the anomaly. The next second, instantly, 2 9-star jade beasts rushed out from within the camp. They charged directly at the shadow demon. But the shadow demon was naturally immune to physical attacks. The 2 9-star jade beasts passed directly through the shadow demon's body. Landing, they looked utterly bewildered. They exchanged a glance. What's going on? Confusion arose in the hearts of the two jade beasts. This was also the first time they had encountered such a situation. Try using skills. A loud shout came from within the Kimchi Nation's camp. That was the voice of their Jade Beast master. The two 9-star Jade Beasts' eyes lit up. Energy began to gather within their bodies. The next second, a gigantic fireball and a streak of light attacked simultaneously. Trash skills. The shadow demon snorted coldly, speaking in human tongue. What's going on? What exactly is this thing? Why can it speak Dragon Nation language? The Kimchi Nation's Jade Beasts within the camp all felt surprised. The fireball and the streak of light were extremely fast. As they flew, they even created a whistling sound. No matter what you are, you cannot possibly withstand the attacks of two 9-star Jade Beasts. Unscathed, the 9-star Beast Tamer in the Kimchi Country camp snorted coldly. He was considered a top master even in Kimchi Country. Although the Shadow Demon's appearance was terrifying, this couldn't shatter his long-standing top position or the confidence he had cultivated from it. But the next second, his confidence completely vanished. The fireball directly struck the Shadow Demon. Although it exploded immediately, it was merely like tickling the Shadow Demon. And the actual outcome was that it directly pierced through the Shadow Demon and shot into the clouds. Heh. Besides getting me all dirty, what else can you do? The Shadow Demon's skill had already gathered. With his free hand, he brushed off the flames on his body. Talented woman. The Kimchi Country's 9-star Beast Tamer's reaction was already swift. Seeing that this strike caused damage to the Shadow Demon, he knew he was no match. Run! He shouted loudly. He then directly led the escape. Experience the lightning condensed from darkness and what it tastes like. The Shadow Demon snorted coldly. The arm suspended in the sky directly dropped. The shadow blade on his arm was like a switch, slicing through the black sky. With a resounding crash, above the Kimchi Country camp, a black lightning bolt struck towards the fleeing 9-star Beast Tamer. He, who was desperately fleeing, was directly struck by this black lightning bolt descending from the sky and instantly reduced to ashes. Then the black sky seemed to leak, and countless lightning bolts, in the next moment, poured madly towards the Kimchi Country camp. The black lightning was as dense as raindrops. The remaining beast tamers of Kimchi Country had no way to escape. After a few breaths, the darkness receded, and light returned to the earth. But the former Kimchi Country camp had become barren, as if it had never existed. He, along with the receding darkness, vanished together from this world. Alas, my injuries are too severe. I can't use more powerful moves. Inemo looked at the black, scorched earth on the ground and sighed. At this moment, I was already standing on top of the Demon Engineer Emperor, coming before Inemo. It's okay. When we get back, I'll try my best to buy you some fast-acting, injury recovery medicine. I offered a word of comfort. If only there were demon beasts, that would be a real tonic. Inemo first nodded, then muttered to himself, this beast domain should have demon beasts, but now it's just the integration stage. The demon beasts could be anywhere in the beast domain. This sort of thing depends on luck. Let's go. Let's continue exploring towards the Kimchi Country. This camp is just temporary. We will eventually encounter a real Kimchi Country camp. If we're lucky, inside, there might be some healing medicine to recover from injuries. I slowly said, standing on top of the Demon Engineer Emperor. Two beneficiaries. Once again delve deeper in the direction of the Kimchi Country. Because the sound and momentum of Inemo releasing skills were extremely grand, the elite teams from America and the Kimchi Country also noticed something. However, they were busy besieging a solid demon beast at the time, so they didn't rush back immediately. The team consisted of 3 people in total, all of them solid beast tamers. 2 blonde strong men from America, and 1 short Kimchi Country Bo Wei. Is this the demon beast mentioned in the data? A blonde strong man stood by the solid demon beast they had besieged to death and said, probably, this thing is really hard to kill. If it weren't for the fact that we had a total of 5 solid heart jade beasts, we really wouldn't have been able to kill it, the square-faced blonde strong man replied. You two, I don't think this is the time to talk about this. We should quickly extract the beast's core and then return to the camp. It looks like the solid beast tamers from Dragon Country have already counterattacked, the Kimchi Country's Wei Nyang said. It seems the cabinet has likely already been killed by the Dragon Nation's Beastmaster. The round-faced, blonde-haired big man analyzed. Dead is dead. This guy was never peaceful in America. The higher-ups also meant for him to try to die here this time. The blonde-haired big man didn't treat the cabinet as a teammate at all. They all looked down on the cabinet because the cabinet often went to stores in America for 0 yuan purchases. Shoplifting. Although he was already a true beastmaster, he still couldn't change this bad habit. His strength only increased his courage to 0 yuan purchase. It couldn't change his determination to 0 yuan purchase. Let's go back to the camp first. In Dragon Nation's words, we call this waiting by the stump for a hare. This time, I also invited a titled and true beastmaster friend. He's probably already waiting for us at the camp now. After the round-faced, blonde-haired big man finished speaking, he led the way towards the real camp of the Kimchi Nation. The other two followed closely behind. At this moment, inside the Kimchi Nation's real camp, Wayne, as America's titled beastmaster, held a respected position. He sat inside the camp. According to their plan, the cabinet was just a pawn to lure out the Dragon Nation's popular beastmaster. They would throw out the cabinet, this inferior horse, to attract 1 or 2 Dragon Nation's middle-tier horses or top-tier horses. Then they would be surrounded and killed within the beast domain. This was America's strategy. The next moment, Wayne's ear twitched slightly, came faster than expected. He slowly stood up and looked towards the distance in the forest. There was a huge object gradually approaching. It's better to be careful, Wayne pondered for a moment. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a flare. Previously, this group from America had already discussed and agreed. The cabinet was the pawn. The 2 blonde-haired operatives were the vanguards for exploring the Dragon Nation's territory and providing rearguard. They were also important figures to support Wayne in surrounding the Dragon Nation's experts. If the Dragon Nation's beastmasters arrived early, they would use a flare to notify. Just wait for the 2 blonde men to return, then, using the matter of the Bao family, make the Dragon Nation beastmaster have nowhere to run. A streak of red light bloomed in the sky. It was Wayne's signal flare. After the signal flare's light vanished, the giant spirit beast in the distance was also already approaching the camp. Seeing this, Wayne directly summoned his spirit beast. His spirit beast was a colossal elephant, also 100 meters tall. Standing on the head of the colossal elephant, Wayne squinted, looking ahead at only one person. He said in surprise, "When did the Dragon Nation's officials become so arrogant? Well, if it's just one, then it's just one. I can easily kill them, and I don't have to worry about too many experts coming, making me fall into a tough battle." Thinking of this, Wayne summoned his second solid high-tier spirit beast, the Flame Lion. This Flame Lion specialized in fire skills. Its skills were powerful and it was good at channeling type skills. Its eyes fixed on the front, its mouth slightly agape, fire energy gathered in its mouth. It just waited for the opponent to get close, then it would unleash a flame shockwave. As for me, seeing the colossal elephant and the giant lion suddenly appear in the distance, instantly, I recognized them as the opponent's 2 solid high-tier spirit beasts, and their master. That lion seems to be using a channeling skill. The faint light in Shadow Demon's eyes flickered. He said to me, a skill that channels through the mouth. Its master isn't necessarily that smart. Go make him a braised lion's head. Let his master learn a lesson. I was speechless at the spirit beast in front of me. This kind of channeling skill is indeed very powerful, but encountering someone as experienced as me, and with an assassin-type demon beast, I can only say the opponent is too young. Channeling so openly, do you take me for air? It just so happens I haven't had braised lion's head in a long time. After Shadow Demon said that, its figure instantly vanished. In just an instant, he then appeared on Wayne's giant lion's body. A huge black shadow enveloped the lion's back of the head. In a flick of a finger, the shadow blade directly sliced across the giant lion's head. The instantly charged skill exploded inside the giant lion's mouth. Braised lion's head was born. At this moment, Wayne was already enraged. He looked at the demonic emperor and the shadow demon. This was a species he had never seen before. Large beads of sweat slid down his cheeks. The shadow demon killed his physical beast with just one strike. High-level giant beast. This strength completely exceeded his imagination. It made him careless with his protective shield. He said to the giant elephant in his heart. At this moment, he could only play it safe. And he still had one real tamed beast not deployed. That was his trump card. It was saved for the final counterattack. And there are 3 others' teammates were already on their way. As long as he could stall until his teammates arrived, he unfortunately 7 to 10-star tamed beast. Still couldn't kill this Dragon Country Beastmaster in front of him. Wayne thought to himself that he could grow to his current status besides being good at selling out teammates was also due to his prudence. If he could gang up, he would never fight one-on-one. If he could bully lower-ranked opponents, he would never challenge higher-ranked ones. You are a Dragon Country Beastmaster. How come I've never seen you? Wayne asked tentatively. He wanted to use this method to stall for time. It doesn't matter, you won't see me again in the future. The Shadow Demon simply didn't waste words with Wayne. Fighting also has a principle, kill if you can. If you can't kill, then run. Never waste words. Villains die from talking too much. So whoever talks more is the villain. Lion's Head is very easy to deal with. The feeling of compatibility should also be quite good. The Shadow Demon shook its shadow blade. The next second, it appeared directly in next to Wayne's protective shield. The shadow blade waved, black mist scattered. Of the protective shield indeed defended against the Shadow Demon's brief attack. But there were clear signs of cracking. It's estimated that it wouldn't take many more hits, and this protective shield would be broken by the Shadow Demon. This is too slow. Demonic Emperor, you go too. Directly tear open space and enter, I said, jumping down from the Demonic Emperor's head. Let the Demonic Emperor enter alone. The Demonic Emperor, hearing this, immediately used a skill. The space in front of him shattered again. The corresponding space within Wayne's protective shield also began to shatter in one spot. The Demonic Emperor quickly drilled into the space tunnel and ran fast. Wayne, at this moment, his heart was already in his throat. He controlled the giant elephant. First, there was a roar. Then he directly charged out of the Demonic Emperor's attack zone. This charge also counted as a tactic. It was the giant elephant's talent. At this point, he was considered short temporarily out of the Demonic Emperor's attack range. But after the danger came naked greed. It was actually a space skill. If he could obtain his beast, then his own beast-taming strength would definitely rise to another level. Wayne at this moment looked at me and the Demonic Emperor. His eyes were full of greed. We must definitely keep Beast 55 with its space skills. And that black mist demonic beast with powerful attack strength? They are definitely not monstrous beasts. They are very likely demonic beasts. As a person who had access to many secrets, he quickly analyzed the true bloodline of my 2 demonic beasts. But what shocked him the most was that Dragon Country had actually already produced a Beastmaster with 2 real demonic beasts. This must be reported to the American officials as soon as possible. The plan to destroy Dragon Country must also be accelerated. Otherwise, it would be difficult to suppress Dragon Country in the future. Still dare to be in a daze? The Shadow Demon roared loudly. His figure flashed. The huge shadow blade was raised high. In an instant, it struck down, and Wayne's defensive shield shattered directly. The giant elephant's body clearly moved. It must have been attacked. Beastmaster of Dragon Country, your death is not far off. Wayne's tone was extremely arrogant, because he had already seen behind me 3 approaching team members and 4 core Beastmasters. Today, this Dragon Kingdom Beastmaster will surely die. Not good. I also felt the danger coming from behind me. The opponent has too many people. Mainly, Shadow Demon now seems very strong, but in reality it is still injured. In the last battle of my previous life, Shadow Demon was at the forefront. If he weren't injured, a single blow could shatter the giant elephant's protective shield. Retreat, I sighed and shouted. A core high-tier jade beast. You can't escape now. The other person also shouted loudly. Then a bird-type tamed beast appeared out of thin air. It immediately dived down. Its speed was incredible. Shadow Demon and Demon Emperor were completely unable to turn back to rescue. In the nick of time, my figure flashed directly above Demon Emperor's head. At this moment, the jade demonic energy within my body was instantly drained to a mere thread. Now, wanting to maintain the summoning of 2 demonic beasts, I was already willing but powerless. Quickly recall Shadow Demon to the Jade Demonic space and retreat. I shouted loudly at Demon Emperor. Damn America. They're truly beasts. They actually deployed so many real Beastmasters at once. They're true beast tamer. Are they copied and pasted? Lying on top of Demon Emperor's head, I thought helplessly, Dragon Country's Beastmasters. Do you think you can still escape? The real sissy Beastmaster from Kimchi Country laughed wildly. Then 7 real tamed beasts simultaneously attacked the demonic emperor. Looking at the overwhelming attack before me, I gritted my teeth. Shadow Demon, I'm going to forcibly use spirit guidance. Your injuries will surely worsen. I'll compensate you once we escape. I said this to Shadow Demon in my mind. With your remaining demonic energy, you only have 2.5 seconds of Shadow Roar time. After giving this reminder, Shadow Demon said no more. Having followed me for many years, although in the eyes of outsiders, I am a ruthless person who slays beasts and cultivates anew, they all know that I was very good to all 9 demonic beasts I subsequently contracted. The next second, the demonic engineer emperor and I suddenly vanished. A barrage of skills instantly slammed onto the ground. Where are they? The square-faced blonde men all had the same look in their eyes. Wayne also had the same look in his eyes, squinting slightly towards where I had been. That spot was already covered by smoke and dust. No, he's behind you. Wayne suddenly, through the smoke and dust, shouted loudly to Wei Nyang of the Kimchi Country, who was 100 li away. But it was all too late. My movements had never paused. I put the demonic engineer emperor back into my space. The Yinling used instant movement to appear behind Wei Nyang. That Wei Nyang only felt a pain in her chest. Then she was lifted into the air. What lifted her was naturally not Ciida, but rather a shadow blade over 1 meter long. At this moment, my 2 arms extended shadow blades, and my eyes also glowed with an eerie blue light. It was practically a miniaturized shadow demon. The solid core demonic beast's ice blade. What will you use to resist? I watched Wei Nyang of the Kimchi Country, who was still struggling, wanting to counterattack, and said coldly, without waiting for her to make any other move, a cold glint flashed from my other arm, and her head fell to the ground as if cutting tofu. Afterward, I quickly pulled out the shadow blade stuck in the headless corpse and reached my hand into her pocket. Casually, I pulled out a bottle of blue potion. Sure enough, there was one, and my eyes lit up with surprise. This is a rare potion that only solid core beastmasters can enjoy. It is issued by the official authorities of various countries to solid core beastmasters as an important resource. It is crucial for restoring beast control power. But my current strength is only 2-star. The shadow skill I, a beastmaster, just used has already completely drained my limited magic power. And in this world, potions that restore jade magic power are extremely rare. They are only found in the hands of solid core jade beastmasters, or jade beastmasters with extremely strong backgrounds. Unfortunately, this item primarily restores jade lifespan. Although it can also restore the jade magic power in my body, the effect is minimal. But it's enough for me. In the current crisis, I gained a chance at survival. I immediately chugged the potion. Then I instantly summoned the Magic Tech Emperor and kept running. All of this actually happened in just 2.5 seconds. Don't let him get away, Wayne shouted after seeing me break through the encirclement. This Jade Beast Master from the Dragon Kingdom must die. At this moment, he not only wanted to seize the Magic Tech Emperor Beast, but also to save face. He was a titled and genuinely powerful American Beast Master. Any of his actions outside, if they were embarrassing, would be equivalent to tarnishing America's reputation. And Wayne had come specifically to help the Kimchi Country eliminate the Dragon Kingdom's Beast Masters. After Wayne gave his orders, the 2 blonde men quickly recalled their jade beasts. The 3 of them simultaneously chased after me at full speed. But the Magic Tech Emperor, as a genuine magic beast, you could say its combat power wasn't great, but you couldn't say it was slow. After all, its main advantage was its legs. At full speed, Wayne and his 2 companions were immediately left behind. The group completely lost sight of the Magic Tech Emperor. But the Magic Tech Emperor's footprints remained. Wayne and his companions were temporarily not worried about losing track. At this rate, I wouldn't be able to shake them off. I stood atop the Magic Tech Emperor's head. Although the jade mana in my body was slowly recovering, It was being consumed to maintain the Magic Tech Emperor, and the consumed Jade Mana cancelled out the recovery. There wasn't even enough surplus Jade Mana for the Magic Tech Emperor to use its spatial burst ability. If this continued, once the recovery effect ended, I would still be caught. I frowned deeply, but there was no other solution at the moment. So one person and one beast just kept running. Behind, Wayne and his two companions slowly gave chase. They also understood that I was essentially a spent force, and sooner or later they would catch up. At this moment, my brows were tightly furrowed, because the environment along the way was gradually changing. Running further into magic beast territory, I knew in my heart that this matter was for me good news. One piece of bad news. The good news is that as long as I enter the true demonic beast zone, I can release the shadow demon, to let it slaughter low-level demonic beasts, and devour them to recover from its injuries. The bad news is, not to shake off if I don't shake off Wayne and his two companions, I'll have no chance to do these things. Nor will I have a chance to restore my demonic beast power. What's even worse now is that Wayne and his two companions have already caught up. Beastmaster of Roan Country, you're dead. From afar, Wayne had already started shouting arrogantly. As Wayne looked at the demonic emperor, his eyes were full of greed. The demonic emperor at this moment, for the convenience of escape, has shrunk its body to normal solid demonic beast, capitalized. This ability to grow larger and shrink smaller further intensified Wayne's desire to kill the demonic emperor and capture its beast. Wayne seemed to be impatient. He directly stepped on the giant elephant's head and pushed off forcefully. His entire person flew directly into the sky, releasing his bird-type tamed beast. That was a bald eagle. The huge bald eagle flew extremely fast. Carrying Wayne, it rapidly approached. You're dead. As Wayne's words fell, the white-headed giant eagle transformed into a white stream of light, diving towards me, who was on top of the demonic emperor's head. So fast. I cried out in alarm. Now, if it goes smoothly again, although I could dodge this attack, but it's uncertain what to do next time. My heart was anxious. My mind raced, thinking rapidly. What other methods could resolve the current crisis? However, at this critical moment, a voice speaking Dragon Country language came from afar. 3 against 1? Do you think there's no one in our Dragon Country's beast-taming world? After the voice, a huge white phoenix appeared in the sky. Its whole body was covered in white flames. At a speed twice that of the white-headed giant eagle, it accelerated and dived down. Its target was directly the white-headed giant eagle. Its might was terrifying, like that of divine beasts and warriors. White flames made the surrounding air scorching hot, making it difficult for people to breathe smoothly. This was Bai Yen, the popular Jade Beastmaster from Dragon Country. Wayne, the Great Golden Bai Yen, this was precisely the title of the Stone Star Jade Beastmaster from Dragon Country. Bai Yen was very famous, even famous worldwide, because he was the only one to use 2 Stone Star Jade Beasts to achieve the title of Supreme Jade Beastmaster. And his 2 Stone Star Jade Beasts were both S-rank bloodline high-tier Stone Star. Bai Yan's twin phoenixes of disordered intentions. This allowed Bai Yan's 2 phoenixes in battle to cooperate with unparalleled synergy. You know my name, Bai Yan. Why don't you obediently surrender? The giant white-headed eagles in the sky stopped their group attack, circling in the sky. Although you are a famous expert, we have 3 solid beastmasters on our side. We're not afraid. He snorted coldly. He saw that only Bai Yan, a single beastmaster, had come, and immediately breathed a sigh of relief. If it was just Bai Yan alone, he still had some confidence. He didn't claim he could kill Bai Yan as well, but as long as his 2 blonde teammates could hold Bai Yan for a moment, he would have a great chance of killing me. Then my magic beast centipede would also die with him, and that strange shadow magic beast. Wayne kept calculating in his mind. Can I still fight? Bai Yan also knew that fighting 1 against 3 was unrealistic. He controlled the phoenix beneath his feet to land beside me, and asked me, who was observing the situation. Not much confidence, but there's a chance. I narrowed my eyes slightly and said slowly. Then I turned my head and glanced at the magic beast forest behind me. That was the magic beast's territory. If Bai Yan could temporarily hold off Wayne and the 2 others, I could release Shadow Demon to enter the forest and slaughter magic beasts, to recover from injuries. How so? Bai Yan asked, scrutinizing me. Can you help me hold them off for 3 minutes? I looked at Bai Yan and said, if you can, then they'll all have to stay here today. What? Are you sure you're not joking? Bai Yan's eyes widened even more, his face full of disbelief. It was hard to imagine these words coming from a young man. Of course, as long as you hold them for 3 minutes, I said seriously. Just now, you were chased by us like a stray dog, and now you dare to boast so shamelessly. After hearing what I said, Wayne and his companions didn't know who I had killed. One solid beast master and who knows who else. 4 against 1, and I counterkilled one of them, I said with a cold laugh. This truly hit Wayne where it hurt. Bai Yan, the sword's son, immediately understood what was going on. I didn't expect this mysterious beast master to be so powerful, surprisingly able to counterkill with a single strike, and at the same time also killed one of Wayne's solid beasts. If it were me instead, I would probably only be able to run away first. All right, brother. Since you've spoken, then I'll risk injury and buy you 3 minutes. I'd like to see how you make them stay. Bai Yan was also a battle-loving person. All right, I'll leave this to you all. Hold them for 3 minutes, wait for me to return. After I finished speaking, I controlled the magic worker emperor to head straight for the magic beast territory. As soon as I entered the magic beast territory, I immediately summoned Shadow Demon. At this moment, Shadow Demon was extremely weak. The vortex in his heart had shrunk to the size of a palm. This was the manifestation of his severe injuries. However, he still had the solid level strength to kill. He might not be able to defeat solid magic beasts, but 8 or 9-star ones were simple enough. Recover your injuries as quickly as possible. We only have less than 3 minutes left, I said to Shadow Demon. Magic Worker Emperor, you go help him kill. Minimize the time. Don't be greedy this time. First, let Shadow Demon recover his injuries, I added. After I finished speaking, Shadow Demon and Magic Worker Emperor darted out together, disappearing into the forest. As for me, I found a large tree and sat down cross-legged. Although it was only 3 minutes, as Shadow Demon recovered from his injuries, the energy gained from devouring magic beasts, a very small portion of it would be fed back as Jade demonic power to each of my magic beasts. All possessed some passive recovery skills. This was also the reason for my strength. At the same time, the path I took was also unique among beast masters. The skill bonuses my 9 magic beasts brought me, when combined, actually shaped me into a solid magic beast. Each one had a different function and different skills. Therefore, in my previous life, I was called the Demon Master Killer. At this moment, howls continuously emanated from deep within the forest. That was the sound of Shadow Demon devouring magic beasts. I could feel Shadow Demon's injuries rapidly recovering. His immense magic beast vitality was gradually returning. 3 minutes passed in a blink of an eye. I, sitting on the tree, also recovered to half of my beast control power. In my perception, Shadow Demon's injuries had fully recovered. It's time for a complete reckoning. I slowly opened my eyes, listening to the continuous sounds of battle coming from Bai Yan's side. I directly summoned my 2 magic beasts back to my side. Standing on the Magic Worker Emperor's head, I swiftly moved towards the battlefield. That kid Bai Yan has probably abandoned you and left. You should just surrender. 3 minutes passed in a blink of an eye. Wayne said with a laugh to the struggling Bai Yan. Bai Yan, you're too naive. Although you and that kid are both from Dragon Country, compared to him, you're more than just a little naive. Today, you'll pay for your naivety. The round-faced blonde man finished speaking and looked with a cold laugh at Bai Yan, who was seriously commanding his phoenixes in battle. And he also thought I wouldn't come back. If he were in my shoes, he would definitely not come back. Our Dragon Country's beast masters, how could they be like you people who can't even get a title, you foreign trash who can't even earn a title? You'd better think about how to escape later. Bai Yan's expression remained completely unmoved. He said coldly, his expression stern. However, his heart was also filled with unease at this moment. That kid looks young. He's very unfamiliar. He wouldn't really abandon me here, would he? Your beast-controlling power isn't much left, is it? I'd like to see how much longer you can hold out. After Wayne finished speaking, he controlled 2 beasts, sending them to attack Bai Yan. The other 2 beast controllers did the same. It seemed they intended to kill Bai Yan in one fell swoop. Here, this old man has plenty of beast-controlling power. Bai Yan controlled 2 phoenixes, making them simultaneously release shields. The attacks from Wayne and the other two were too fierce. Even someone as strong as Bai Yan at this moment could only be forced to parry. He could only wait for a gap to appear in their wave of attacks. Only then would he have a chance to counterattack. Still talking tough, are we? Whether that kid comes back or not, you're going to die today. Don't worry, we won't let you be lonely for too long. Soon, a large number of Dragon Kingdom beast controllers will follow you down. Wayne controlled his spirit beasts, making them continuously unleash skills, he said fiercely. At the current attack frequency of the three of them, breaking through Bai Yan's defense was only a matter of time. Bai Yan's brows were also tightly furrowed at this moment. His heart was filled with 100 kinds of anxiety. Just as he was contemplating whether to retreat first, a familiar voice came from behind him. Who said he would die today? I stood atop the demon work emperor, and the voice came from afar. When Bai Yan heard my words, a surge of joy instantly filled his heart. Indeed, he hadn't misjudged this outcome. But at this moment, he was still fending off the attacks from Wayne and the other two's controlled beasts. He dared not turn his head at all. He could only look straight ahead. He opened his mouth and shouted, "Little brother, you made me wait so long. Let's kill these three bastards together." He believed that with me now back to help him share the burden of attacks, he had a 40% chance of keeping Wayne and the other two here. But I merely said lightly, "Your mission is complete. You can rest now." My words were astonishing. At this moment, I had completely returned to the state of that 1,000-year-old ancestor from my previous life. That tone was as if I were conversing with a junior. "Shadow Demon, deal with them." Without giving Wayne and the other two time to speak, I directly gave an order. The Shadow Demon instantly appeared on the battlefield, also flying high up. The shadow blades plunged straight into the clouds. Darkness descended once more. One could say, it reached a degree where one couldn't see their own hand in front of their face. At this moment, the only light on the battlefield was Bai Yan's two phoenixes. At this point, Bai Yan was utterly dumbfounded. He widened his eyes, surveying his surroundings by the white light from the phoenixes. What kind of skill is this? This space, even its temperature had dropped by more than 10 degrees. That coldness wasn't like winter. Instead, it was more like the inside of a morgue, with an eerie, chilling wind. Is he a proper beast master? Are you sure he's not from a cult? Bai Yan's heart was filled with 1,000 shocks at this moment. Run, run. Wayne was utterly panicked. This skill was simply not something they could resist. Too late. A voice, not sounding human, rang out coldly. These words were spoken by the Shadow Demon. No sooner had it finished speaking, its shadow blades on its arms swept downwards. Several bolts of black lightning, as thick as a waist, fell silently. At this moment, the lightning was like the scythe of the Grim Reaper. In the darkness, Wayne and the other two, along with their summoned beasts, could only feel a surge of immense death energy descending from the sky. The next instant, the 3 people and 6 beasts all turned into a handful of dust. Bai Yan was truly, utterly stunned. His summoned beast could actually speak? How was this possible? Wait, can this really be called a beast? Calling it a demon god wouldn't be an exaggeration, would it? I, Bai Yan, am the 9th-ranked titled beastmaster in Dragon Country. Please forgive any offense I may have caused earlier, young man. Bai Yan had already tried his best to lower his stance at this moment. With his experience, he could naturally tell that the Shadow Demon's skill power was not limited to this. He feared that this young man before him, already able to contend with the one ranked first. Bai Yan put away his previous disdain for me. His expression at this moment was very reserved. My name is Chen Feng. I am a sophomore at Northern Presale University. I replied awkwardly. Your current strength is only that of a student. As for your identity, it might be a bit too outrageous. I also knew what the problem was. But unfortunately, I really was a student. Just after I finished speaking, the Shadow Demon's internal energy suddenly erupted. Seeing this, I was overjoyed. It was the Demon Beast's second evolution. But Bai Yan and I, in the Beast Realm, were ambushed by 3 beautiful beast tamers. In this situation, I immediately summoned my second Demon Beast. I saw him instantly vanish from his spot, and in a blink, appeared above the 3. He waved his arm downwards, and a bolt of lightning, thick as a waist, silently descended. Instantly, the figures of the three turned into ashes. After dealing with the invading Yuanyu and in the beast realm, I then took Bai Yan and walked out of the beast realm. And as soon as I exited the beast realm, I saw Bai Xinyue holding her small face, standing alone outside the teleportation gate, anxiously staring at me. The moment Bai Xinyue saw me come out, she subconsciously ran towards me. Tears welled in her eyes. She was truly worried something might happen to me. And after she and I separated in the beast realm, the moment she saw the sky darken, her heart instantly leaped into her throat. But Bai Xinyue didn't know that was my demon beast's doing. Just as she was about to rush into my arms, a fragrant breeze wafted past her. A scent of roses mixed with a hint of chocolate. Golden hair, long legs. Even though her figure was wrapped in winter clothes, it still couldn't hide her captivating tall and slender physique. Chen Feng, I thought I'd never see you again. Aileen rushed into my arms, one step ahead. I was instantly taken aback. Bai Xinyue also instantly froze on the spot. I missed you so much. They wouldn't let me go in and find you. I can only wait for you here. Aileen kept talking, as if she had suffered a great injustice. I instantly snapped back to my senses, pushing Aileen's face, forcibly pushing her out of my arms. Aileen, however, clung to my neck and refused to let go. Bai Xinyue behind her had tears welling up in her eyes. Who is this foreign woman? Let go of me. I helplessly pushed Aileen's face, finally pushing Aileen away from me. That Xinyue, let's first go get you a 7-level 2-star beast art. I quickly pulled Bai Xinyue and ran into the beast sanctuary. This girl Aileen is too passionate. Hubby, wait for me. I also need a 7-level 2-star beast art. Aileen followed closely and entered the beast sanctuary. As soon as I entered the beast sanctuary, I summoned the Magic Collapse Emperor. Standing on the Magic Collapse Emperor's head at this moment, the atmosphere between the two girls was very awkward. Seeing this, I was the first to speak. Let me introduce you. This is Aileen. She's a friend of mine, I guess. This is Bai Xinyue. She's my classmate, also to my two daughters. As I introduced them to each other, I also kept winking at Aileen. I didn't want Bai Xinyue to know anything about my rebirth, any traces of it. Bai Xinyue looked at me and Aileen constantly exchanging glances. She felt a strange discomfort in her heart, an inexplicable feeling. She didn't know why she suddenly wasn't very happy. We're just normal friends. Don't overthink it. Aileen, at this moment, had already regarded this dragon country girl in front of her as a love rival. Chen Feng, in our previous life, we were lovers. No one can change that. Say less. I gave Aileen a glare. I was really afraid this girl would expose something. Seeing this, I quickly changed the subject. Let's go. I'll take you two to contract a powerful one. 3 hours after the presale, with my assistance, the two of them both contracted their desired magical beasts. Xianxia, your magical beast is called the Spirit Demon Butterfly. Although their direct combat power wasn't strong, everyone knew it. But its skills are very rare. Its spirit venom can paralyze enemies one rank higher than itself within an area. If used well, it's a powerful crowd control ultimate. And Aileen, is your magical beast called Tongyu? Its 2-star intermediate skill is named Tongyu. Anyone who makes eye contact with its snake eyes will briefly fall into an illusion, involuntarily walking onto the Netherworld's Yellow Springs Bridge of Helplessness, which is to say, into its mouth. But when battling enemies, you still need to be a bit careful. After all, enemies might break free from the illusion at any time. I explained and introduced the beasts to the two girls separately. After returning outside the beast domain, I coincidentally ran into Bai Yan. At this moment, by Bai Yan's side, were two beast tamers with arrogant expressions. Seeing their utterly arrogant faces, I figured these two were also elite beast tamers. When the two saw the three of us, their gazes were arrogant, their heads held very high. Because just now, they had been officially invited to join Bai Yan, the Dragon Nation's titled expert, in guarding this beast territory. As elite beast tamers among commoners, this was equivalent to a child from the mountains passing the civil service exam. However, what happened next greatly surprised the two of them. Little brother Chen Feng. While the two groups were still 7 or 8 meters apart, Bai Yan actively greeted him. He still hadn't figured out my exact details until now, because my information had already been officially designated as top secret. "Oh, it's old Bai. Are you going to handle the aftermath?" I said casually with a smile. "Yes, indeed. How can someone like me, who works for the government, be as carefree as little brother Chen?" Bai Yan said, and looked at Bai Xianxia, who was standing to my left, and Aileen, the two girls. My goodness gracious, what a brute. How did he manage to combine Chinese and Western styles without clashing? Hey, I'm just an ordinary student. I still have to go back and busy myself participating in the pre-sale competition. I exclaimed, "Brother, what good spirits you're in, but you might have to busy yourself in a different way. Just now, the higher-ups asked me to inform you, someone wants to invite you for a meeting. I'm just relaying the message to you," Bai Yan said with a smile. I knew it would be like this. I sighed. When I advanced to 2-star and revealed my strength, I had already anticipated that I would be pulled aside by the authorities for a private talk. It seems I'll be picked up as soon as I leave. The two groups passed each other and left. Sure enough, just 2 steps out, a helicopter landed in front of me. Just like that, I was taken to an office. A moment later, a door opened, and a voice said, "Young man, apologies for making you wait so long." The person who entered was an old man with somewhat graying hair, his face full of kindness. He looked like an old man who was easy to get along with, but his demeanor carried an air of authority without needing to express anger. Without waiting for my reply, the old man spoke again. "My name is Chu Weigua. My title is Dragon King," Chu Weigua said, extending his hand to me. I also actively shook it. This is how officials meet. I'm used to these basic courtesies. I don't want to waste too much time. I just want to ask a few questions. I hope you can answer me truthfully. Chu Weigua finished speaking and looked at me seriously. Sorry, some things are my personal secrets. I can't guarantee I can answer all of them. Upon hearing this, I first frowned slightly. Dragon King, I've heard of him in my previous life. He ranks first in Dragon Nation in terms of titles and presale power. He is very powerful. According to my memory, he should have died in battle in Showdown a month later. No problem. Then I'll ask the first question. Chu Weigua finished speaking, paused, then continued, "Are you a true presale master?" "No, currently I am a 2-star. I shook my head. This secret cannot be hidden, because a solid core beast tamer's physical body is very strong. So I directly laid my cards on the table. Then are both of your demonic beasts solid core? After Chu Weigua finished speaking, his eyes narrowed slightly, staring fixedly into my eyes. He asked that very cleverly. A normal person would usually ask first, "Are your tamed beasts demonic beasts?" And only then would they ask if they are solid core. But he now combined these two questions into a single question, which avoided some of the possibility of me refusing to answer. "Yes," I said calmly. After hearing my answer, he took out a piece of paper. "This is your reward for this time. Also, one last question. Do you truly love Rongua?" Chu Weibo said, and pushed an A4-sized reward list towards me. 90% of it was blank. Only 3 words were in the middle. Just ask. I glanced at the list in my hand, then suddenly looked up and gazed at Chu Wei again. These 3 words were not simple. Seemingly a reward, but in reality it was a huge trap. But just as I was feeling fortunate, Longua's leader actually sent me to assassinate the solid core beast tamers of Little Japan and America. Seeing this, I unhesitatingly accepted the mission. After returning to my dormitory, I took out a black notebook. The first page was filled with names. And these people were all my teammates from my previous life. In the end, they also helped me contract the strongest demonic beast and sacrificed their lives. But in the previous life, the experiences of these few people were not good. Every single one of them lived in hell. And in this life, I have returned reborn. I will definitely not let their fates repeat the same mistakes. But on the notebook, after Elena's name, there was the name of a Sakura girl. Ryoko 10 Yuan. This is when I picked up my pen. On the name Ryoko 10 Yuan, I heavily drew a circle. Then I took out my phone and started booking a flight to Japan for tomorrow. But the next day, as soon as I got off the plane, I ran into trouble. In my previous life, Ishihara Ryoko. I met her at an American base in the city. But that should be 10 years from now. All I know now is, Ishihara Ryoko must be in Osaka. But I really don't know her exact location. I remember Ryoko once told me, before she was sent to the American base, she was imprisoned for 9 years in Koizumi, Osaka. Within the family, for the patriarch of the Koizumi family, Koizumi Masashige, she served as a blood slave for 9 years. Koizumi Masashige. His name seemed to be on the assassination list. I stood still, took out my phone, and started checking the list. Got it, Koizumi Masashige, patriarch of the Koizumi family, currently 79 years old. He is the first pre-sale master, and the Koizumi family, in Japan, monopolized all pre-sale material business. Therefore, they wielded immense power in Japan, openly and brazenly capturing underage children to be blood slaves, to exchange their blood for his own, in order to prolong his life. I frowned as I looked at the information. This old bastard truly deserves to die, just to live for another 2 or 3 years. He actually captures children for blood transfusions, utterly devoid of scruples. I also don't know how he became a trendy Jade Beast Master. Thinking of this, I immediately called the chief. Chu Weibai. The call connected quickly. Old Chu, I've arrived in Japan. There's someone named Koizumi Masashige. I need his detailed itinerary. The sooner, the better. After briefly saying all this, I hung up the phone. Less than 5 minutes later, an unknown message popped up. It was Koizumi Masashige's recent itinerary. That's pretty fast work. They actually don't need layers of reporting and approval. But to send a message so quickly, it seems the Xiaoquan has someone on his side. I analyzed it in my mind. The annotations formed were very clear, including Xiaoquan's daily routine. However, at the end of the message, there was also a piece of information resembling a private suggestion. Sir, could you help me get rid of Xiaoquan and Zheng Mao's son? This way, I can control the entire Xiaoquan family. I immediately perked up upon seeing this message. This person has at least become the second in command. It just so happens that I also need to use the Xiaoquan family's influence to find out the exact location of Liangzi. Tonight, Xiaoquan will be going to a club to eat with little Xiaoquan. You be prepared. I immediately replied. At this, the phone quickly replied with a message. Okay. After you've killed the person, I'll shout, "Catch that assassin." This is our secret signal. I'll contact you again after you leave. Looking at the message received, I directly deleted the entire conversation. Time quickly came to 9 p.m. Outside, it had already grown completely dark. Donning the mask used by hardened criminals, my figure instantly vanished from where I stood. I knew the club's internal structure like the back of my hand. Of course, this also included the room where Xiaoquan and Zheng Mao, the father and son, were located. In 3 swift movements, I was already standing outside the room. I politely knocked on the sliding door. Who is it? Mister. Xiaoquan is dining. We don't need any other dishes for now. First, a woman's voice came from inside the room. She sounded somewhat elderly. They are indeed inside. Thinking this, I stopped pretending. Shadow energy instantly gathered from my arm. I directly pulled open the sliding door. Immediately, the 3 men and 1 woman inside the room were exposed to my view, and the Xiaoquan father and son were among them. I didn't recognize the other man and woman. It seemed that the young woman wearing a kimono was Xiaoquan's wife. But this was none of my business. I've come to kill. Who are you? 8. How did you get in without permission? Xiaoquan Zheng Mao immediately stood up and roared at Wu De. I didn't answer at all. It would have been polite enough to knock before ordering me to kill you. The next second, I instantly appeared behind Xiaoquan Zheng Mao. The black blade went in and the black blade came out. After pulling out the blade, I swung it backhand. Xiaoquan Zheng Mao's son was also instantly decapitated. It went surprisingly smoothly, but Xiaoquan Zheng Mao couldn't be blamed for his carelessness. The truth was, such a thing was almost impossible to happen. Just as I was wondering whether to deal with Xiaoquan's wife suddenly let out a scream. Catch that assassin. Her voice was extremely loud, but the short man beside her dared not move an inch. Hilarious. How the hell could this be an assassin? He just charged in, unstoppable. Upon entering the room, they wept and murdered. And after killing, he still didn't run. Instead, he's staring at the two of us. Who would dare to grab him? As I watched Xiao Quan's wife suddenly shout out the secret code, I was also taken aback for a moment. Well, I'll be. I thought she was one of us. Probably a male comrade enduring humiliation for a greater cause. Didn't expect her to be a careless Japanese woman. The young woman was truly careless. After the secret code was verified, knowing who was on our side was enough. The next second, I directly disappeared on the spot. When I returned to the hotel, it was already close to midnight. After a quick wash-up, my phone rang. Sir, tonight I need to consolidate Xiao Quan's family's influence. Tomorrow morning I will personally go to meet them. The other party was speaking in Rongua dialect. That voice was precisely the young woman's voice. By the way, help me look up a girl named Xianxia, approximately 18 years old. I added after a moment's thought. After the other party hung up the phone, the next day, a little past 7 a.m., my room door was knocked on. Sir, are you still resting? It was the young woman's tentative voice. From the sound of the footsteps, only one person had come. I quickly walked to the door and opened it. This young woman had completely changed from her housewife appearance of last night. To daze her, it was obvious she had meticulously dressed up. She wore a flesh-colored, tight-fitting, hip-hugging slip dress. Her neckline was cut very low, revealing ample cleavage. Her appearance suggested she was around 30 years old. Her figure hadn't changed at all. May I come in? The young woman finished speaking. She cautiously glanced left and right, afraid of being followed. Come in, I said to a guard. The young woman nodded. Then she lowered her head and quickly entered the room, bringing with her a faint scent of cherry blossoms. Sir, my name is Hebei Kaihua. You can just call me Kaihua. Last night Osaka. Checked everyone in the city named Tenyuan Lady. Here is the information. Please take a look, Kaihua finished. She pulled a palm-sized notebook from her small bag and handed it to me. I opened the notebook and began to examine it carefully. Found it. So you've been moving around. I conveniently tore off that page of information and tucked the photo into my pocket along with it. Meanwhile, in a clinic, Xianxia, during a free medical checkup organized by the community, was found to have a problem with his blood. So he was sent to this clinic. The community said they could provide him with free treatment. But they had already drawn over 600 milliliters of Xianxia's blood. Xianxia lay on the hospital bed, his head spinning. I don't want treatment anymore. I want to leave. Xianxia called out weakly towards the outside. He wanted to try to pull out the needle stuck in the vein of his arm. But his weak body made him unable to do so. A burly man, however, said, You might have to lie here for a while. To tell you the truth, your blood is very rare and full of vitality. A powerful figure is very interested in you. Some people's fates are sealed from birth. The burly man said coldly, Is that so? Then why don't I believe in fate? Suddenly, a faint sound of blood rang out from behind the burly man. The big man spun around abruptly. At the same time, he adopted a defensive stance. At this moment, he warily looked towards me, standing outside the door. However, I didn't pay him any attention at all. My figure instantly vanished from the spot.